appropriated a certain dollar amount, about $20 billion in the last government funding measure for hurricane relief and other things of that measure, disaster relief. And that money is drying up because there's been a lot of disasters so far this year. But Hurricane Helene specifically has been so devastating that there's a concern that FEMA might not have the money it needs to last the rest of hurricane season.
So, Jay, has this ever happened before where a FEMA or an entity like that has run out of money? And do we know what happens if they do run out of money? Can't we just print more?
Well, it doesn't necessarily look like they will, only because Congress would probably step in before then. And there's other mechanisms in place that FEMA can use to fill their coffers, although it's hard. It's not necessarily an idea of printing. It's more of just appropriating it within the federal budget to a degree. You can't use stuff that's congressionally appropriated for one purpose, meaning you can't use, for instance, some of that migrant money because it's locked for that purpose, Congress says. But you can do something of that. This happens sometimes when there have been serious, disaster seasons. Think back to that season where we had a string of really, really bad wildfires. Typically, Congress steps in and gives FEMA some additional money. Congress is looking at doing that. But the question is, when can they do that? Because they're out on recess right now, and they won't come back. At least they're not scheduled to come back until after the election.
ABC News correspondent Jay O'Brien from Washington, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, coming up right after this break, we're going to talk about how Helene is affecting us here in home and some adoptive pets that you could help that were rescued from that storm. It's 3:21 on WTMJ.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter, an important part of our family. They're kind of like kids sometimes, and like kids, they weren't always listening, but I've got it figured out now. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training, our dogs are better behaved. They don't bark as much. They just listen better. They're happy, confident, obedient. Our house is a better house. Sit Means Sit Dog Training turned it around for us. Let them do the same for you. You can start with a free consultation. The website is sitmeanssitwaukesha.com. Sitmeanssitwaukesha.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Universal Windows Direct. Replaces old drafty windows before winter sets in. Universal Windows Direct exclusive super spacer technology helps keep your home insulated. Call Universal Windows Direct today. 414-410-2000. For every 2 windows you buy, 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices. Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips? But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
Milwaukee College Prep, dedicated to closing the opportunity gap for children in Milwaukee, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dreams. Join me, Good Karma Brand's founder CEO Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 17th, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee's most challenged communities. Milwaukee College Prep is closing the opportunity gap. To learn more and purchase tickets, go to MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com and click support.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, Haws and Wisconsin shelter partners joined Greater Good Charities to fly more than 100 shelter pets from South Carolina right here to Wisconsin to find adoptive homes. Jennifer Smea with Haws Waukesha joins us live on the Talk and Text line. Jennifer, thanks for joining us.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, so tell me how it went. How many dogs came by air?
The final grand total was 125 pets, 81 dogs, 44 cats, and those were split amongst the 8 of us shelters that kind of banded together to take them. So when you have that many animals, but you have that many shelters that are sharing, it becomes a lot easier to manage. But at Haws, we ended up with 15 adult dogs and 14 puppies.
And I know you probably don't know what happened to them, but do you know what they likely went through?
Well, the shelters that we got them from, or how they do it when there is an event like this and a disaster, is it's kind of a rolling thing where they clear out shelters and they move the animals to higher ground, almost literally, getting them to places where they're going to be safe to open up those shelters that are going to need emergency handling and emergency access. So the dogs that we got that probably didn't see as much rain as we or as much of the flooding, they were probably moved out before the storms even hit, because they were planning ahead of time. And that's how this works is, they know that the storm is going to make landfall at a certain point, so they start moving the animals out as soon as possible to make that space in the shelters that are going to be right in the storm. So we know that they went through a lot of travel in a few short days, from being loaded onto transport trucks to getting to an airport to being loaded into the plane to flying to us and then being offloaded and in transport trucks again and then brought to the various shelters. That once they were at the shelters, though, then it's a case of they get lots of love and lots of care and usually spa treatment, i.e. nice warm bath. Plus some treats and some snuggles from our volunteers. So it's traumatic. I mean, I think about how even as a human, when I'm traveling, it just can be very exhausting and stressful for us. And we know what's going on. For an animal that doesn't really know what is happening and what to expect, I can only imagine how nerve-wracking it is for them. So it was probably a lot. And I'm guessing that for those days and even up to a week, it was a lot of stress for them.
So, Jennifer, there are a lot of states between Florida and Georgia and South and North Carolina and the state of Wisconsin. How does Haws get involved with something like this? Do you bid for it, for example, or how does that come about?
It came about a number of years ago when we had that really strong season of hurricanes. Was that back in 2016, 2017? I don't remember exactly. We got involved with rescues then, and it was basically our staff reached out to the various national organizations that do these rescues to let them know we're available and we can help. So, asking what can we do? What do you need us to do? And from there, we got involved with Greater Good Charities and their Good Flights program. And we've worked with them pretty much ever since. And it's really neat because they take care of the logistics of collecting the animals, getting them on the planes, finding the volunteer pilots, finding the donors to take care of the flights, to pay for fuel. You can only imagine how expensive it can be. And they bring the animals up to us. And then our job up here is to coordinate local shelters who we all meet at the Waukesha County Airport, and we all divvy up the animals that are coming on these flights and get them out to the various places. So, we've been doing this now for, 6-7 years or so, and initially it wasn't as smooth as it is now, but certainly now it's gotten to the point where Greater Good can give us a call and say, hey, we're doing a transport in a day, in 2 days. Are you ready? And we're ready to go. So practice makes perfect, and we've gotten to the point where it can be very smooth. The neat thing is that as soon as we let our volunteers and staff know that we're taking one of these transports, the hands go up, the volunteers are showing up, ready to go. It's just something that
how many more need
really
to be adopted, Jennifer?
Participate.
Just really quick, how many more need to be adopted?
Right now, just as generally in our shelter, we've got 60-ish dogs and puppies. So of the ones that came up on the transport, I think the ones that came on the transport on Wednesday, we've had a couple of the adult dogs already adopted and a couple of puppies. But we had a total of 29 come in. So, but from what I understand, it's crazy busy today. So, I've had my spies kind of keeping an eye on what's going on and how busy traffic is. And we've got a lot of people, and we're expecting a busy weekend too. So hopefully by the end of day on Sunday, because we are open all weekend, hopefully by the end of day on Sunday, we can report that pretty much everybody's gone.
HawesPets.org. Jennifer Smia, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Everybody come on over and adopt. It's a great time.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Before we get to local headlines, taking a look at your markets and your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. The Dow is up 341 points at 42,352. The NASDAQ as well, 219 at 18,137. The S&P 500, 51 points in the green at 57.51. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
You're busy. Work, family, life. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what you'll do about things like retirement planning, selling a business, investing, or building your legacy. So your buddy hooks you up with his guy. Seems fine, but when it gets down to advice, you're all of a sudden knee-deep in products packed with commissions. You start to wonder, are you getting advice or are you getting a sales pitch? Annex Wealth Management is a fee-only fiduciary. No commission products, just advice. And clear thinking when it comes to your investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. Annex believes financial planning is for everyone. Annex Comprehensive Wealth is a great fit for most. For those with high net worth and complex planning challenges, consider Annex Private Client. For those just starting out, Annex Ignite is a great choice. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes. Set your own appointment at a time convenient for you. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management. Annexwealth.com.
So he said to me, boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders. And I said, you betcha. And he said, do you mind if I cherry pick? And I said, feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, how younger voters are responding to the Republican Party.
I'm Mike Spalding. A Dropbox saga continues in Wausau.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Your ride's getting spicier. It's starting to slow down a little bit more from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. Northbound 43, you're seeing some delays coming out of the Marquette all the way up to just past Fond du Lac Avenue. Southbound continues kind of heavy onto 4394 over that high-rise bridge. Westbound 94, delays from 27th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard, almost to Highway to 60th Street. And then beyond that, from Highway 100, crossing over into Waukesha County. And we've also got some delays on the bypass, heading westbound right past 27th Street, almost to Loomis. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be clear and mild, a low of 56. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a slight chance of overnight showers and storms, a high of 73. Current temperature here in Milwaukee is 63 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision, Wisconsin. At gatherings like the Republican National Convention here in Milwaukee this summer, GOP has tried to cast itself as a party where all are welcome. But how have young voters responded? Will Martin is a state director of Wisconsin for Americans for Citizen Voting.
And are going to actually be on the ground in their neighborhoods being paid doing doors. So we're seeing young people come out in droves in ways that we've never seen for the Republican Party before.
Martin also says he's seen an increase of people of color supporting the GOP.
The Wausau Common Council will end up taking up the issue of their absentee ballot drop box. Mayor Doug Dinney wants the council to make a final decision on whether to keep and use the city's lone drop box for the upcoming November election. City Clerk Caitlin Bernard did make it clear that her decision to have a box placed and secured following guidance from the city attorney and Wisconsin Elections Commission. She is recommending the council not take up that resolution.
The suspect in the murder of a boy from Milwaukee is ordered to stand trial.
A doctor's report finds 16-year-old Eric Mendoza is competent to proceed in the murder trial of 5-year-old Prince McCree. Mendoza's attorneys have requested time to investigate a possible not guilty by reason of insanity plea. Mendoza is accused of beating McCree to death with a barbell, a 70-pound concrete bird feeder, and a golf club in October of 2023. 27-year-old David Patura pleaded guilty to first-degree intentional homicide as a party to a crime in the case and was given a life sentence back in June. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The status conference for Mendoza's case is scheduled for November 8th.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Clear out your locker day for your Milwaukee Brewers following last night's stunning season-ending playoff loss to the New York Mets. Packers quarterback Jordan Love says his knee's responding well after last Sunday's performance against the Vikings. Packers back in action Sunday. They're out in L.A. to take on the Rams. Coverage on WTMJ starts at noon, and the Badgers continue Big Ten play Saturday against Purdue.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
Sponsored by Grandview Homes, the name you know, the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
Why trust Grandview Homes to buy your home? It's simple. We make the home selling process fast, easy, and stress-free, even if your home is less than perfect. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. Leave the mess and the stress to us. At Grandview Homes, we live and work in your neighborhoods. Our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
So do you remember TMJ4 News I-Team reporter Sean Gallagher, Mike?
I absolutely do. The basketball guy.
Yeah,
of course.
Yes, incredible. So he's flown the coop, and now he is with some really great family in North Carolina. He is doing fantastic at WRAL. And Sean Gallagher joins us on the Talk and Text line. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Julia. Great to hear from you.
Hi. We miss you so much. Hey, by the way.
Likewise.
Yes, I just saw on your LinkedIn account, and that's what made me want to call you, was your unbelievable account of, you were out reporting. And tell us what happened, because for 24 hours, there was no connection to the outside world.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I've never experienced anything like it. We had a live hit after the storm had really gone through. Most of the flooding had kind of subsided. And, it was about 12 o'clock, and I did a hit, and my phone just cut out. I couldn't hear our team back in Raleigh, which is about 3.5 hours away in Asheville, where we were. And, from then on, I was really in the dark. And, I think a lot of people are seeing the images that are coming out of Asheville and Western North Carolina now. But, being on the ground there, I saw just the one area I was, and I knew how bad that was. But, didn't know quite the devastation that we were dealing with until, we really got out about 24 hours later. It was a really surreal experience.
Sean, can you kind of talk about what you've been seeing on the ground? We've all seen the photos back here in Wisconsin and
yes,
can relate, I think, to a little percentage with tornado season here, but this is like tornado season times a million.
Yeah, it's on steroids, really. I don't think anyone here could have been prepared for what was going to happen, because it was, historic flooding, and then that brought down trees, it brought down power lines, it obviously flooded, but then it also caused these landslides, and it was just, a combination of factors that still, we're talking a week later today, that there are still so many people that haven't talked to their loved ones. They haven't been able to get out. They are struggling just to be able to survive out there. And, it's going to be weeks, if not months, if not years, until they really get back on their feet. It is whatever you've seen on TV. I can guarantee you it's worse.
Oh my gosh. So are there people still missing, Sean? How many people?
Yeah, unfortunately there are, and there's even more misinformation out there. People claiming that they found their loved ones, which is honestly just disgusting that people would do that. But we're hearing hundreds are still unaccounted for, and that could be that no one's been able to get in touch with them, or the worst. So everyone here is really holding out hope that it's just going to take some more time to really dig through the rubble from this and find those folks, because I've only been in North Carolina for a little while, but I've already learned the people in Western North Carolina, those kind of mountain folks, they are extremely resilient. They are so strong and so dependent on one another that they're getting themselves through this in the best way that they can, but they still need a ton of help. There are donations coming in like crazy. I was going to do a story today with a bluegrass band that was supposed to be in Asheville earlier this week. Obviously, they couldn't do their concert, but tonight they're holding, an event in Durham, North Carolina, where they're raising money to send there. They're supposed to be on tour. They stopped and said, we got to do something. And that's kind of the stories that we're hearing all throughout here. It's just so many people helping people.
Sean Gallagher is a reporter at WRAL Television in Raleigh, North Carolina. We are talking about the destruction left over after a terrible hurricane struck the region about a week ago. Sean, has there even been discussion about what happens next? Like, cleanup is happening, but like beyond that, restoration efforts, is it just too early for that kind of discussion yet?
It's too early to be able to give a timeline, I'd say, but there are crews already working on it. Like I did a story earlier this week with Raleigh Water. They're like the water utility company here in Raleigh. They sent 50 tons of pipes, large pipes, out west just to be prepared for when the utilities get in a place where they can actually put these pipes back in the ground. Because, again, I didn't experience this ever when I was in Wisconsin. Maybe it happened in some places up north, but, these landslides are knocking out infrastructure in ways that I can't even really fully describe. Like half of a roadway gets wiped out. So, yeah, nobody can get in or out. But what's under that roadway? It's those pipes that, the entire community depends on for, not just drinking water, but, water for sanitary reasons. The idea of being able to flush a toilet is non-existent there right now. They can't take showers. They can't do anything because the water is knocked offline. When I talked to somebody from Asheville Water Utility, they said that, they're talking in, weeks that it will be before they get that water back online. And they're not even confident with that. And they're being honest with this. They're saying, this is so bad that this isn't just a light switch that you can flip back on and, get your water back running. It is such big infrastructure that, again, like I said, as bad as you think it is from what you've seen on TV, it is worse. Now, the positive here, because, Julia, you'll remember, I always like to try to have a silver lining whenever I'm doing this.
Yes.
Power is expected to be on by tonight. So we were talking over 1 million people who were without power in Western North Carolina, and Duke Energy, the utility here, made a promise that they were going to get power on by tonight. And for all intents and purposes, they should be on pace for that. So, yes, it's one little glimmer of hope, but that's exactly what the people out there need right now.
Wow. Sean Gallagher with WRAL, thank you so much for joining us on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Wow, that is incredible accounting. And please follow Sean on Twitter. He has incredible accounts of what's going on the ground there. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
It's 3:42 on WTMJ.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, memory care issues. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. I've been in their places. I love how they deal with people. It's about compassion and empathy at Azura. Kindness is at their core. 14 locations from the Mississippi to Lake Michigan, 4 here in the Milwaukee area. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's about kindness and care. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Traffic and weather, let's get you where you need to safely with our Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb.
Hey, Julia. Westbound 94. Got some interesting delays here from usual about 20th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard and crossing into Waukesha County. But then we've got some more delays from Moreland Road all the way in towards the Barker Road area and then west of Highway 16. And those delays stretch all the way over to Maple Avenue, almost to Highway 83. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be heading through that area. Eastbound, your backups are coming out of the Barker Road area past Brookfield Road and then back on the brakes from 84th Street through to 35th. Southbound 43, a little heavy from Silver Spring down to Capitol, and southbound 41, still a bit heavy from Appleton Avenue down to about Capitol Drive as well. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear and mild, a low of 56. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a slight chance of overnight showers and storms, a high of 73. Sunday, pick day, mostly sunny, a high of 71. Monday, sunny and cooler, a high of 67. Tuesday, sunny, a high of 65.
Welcome back to Wisconsin's Afternoon News on this Friday, October 4th. I'm Mike Spalding, sitting in for John Mercure, co-hosting alongside Julia Fellow, Brandon Snide, producing the show, and Debbie Lazaga is on traffic. Julia, hope is not a plan. So while the temperature hovers at about 70 degrees and leaves across southeast Wisconsin are just turning from green to brown, Waukesha County's putting up the bat signal for snowplow drivers. Don't start thinking about snow just yet, but they are. The county says it's not 1 or 2 or 10 or 12 drivers short. They are 24 snowplow drivers short.
Yikes.
For what the Farmer's Almanac says could potentially be a very snowy winter. So what is Waukesha County doing about it? TMJ4's Rebecca Clough has that story.
The county is looking to hire around 24 snowplow drivers, mainly for the airport. They used to contract out the job, but now they're doing the work themselves. The county is in such need, they made this recruitment video parodying the movie Airplane.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. Don't call me Shirley.
One advantage that we have in Waukesha, because of the way we remove snow,
we're open more than a lot of other airports in the area, especially our size.
No special training required, but they're on a time crunch.
The last couple of years, we've had the Halloween storms.
The county says no matter what, the roads and the airport will get plowed, but the airport crews maintain they just have cooler equipment to do it with.
It's really fun to play with.
The county will be hiring snowplow drivers throughout the entire snow season, so it's never too late to apply.
So if you'd like to apply, you can text the word plow to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. We'll send you right to the application page there for the Waukesha City, or Waukesha County, I should say. So just remember, if your street's not clear to snow in a timely manner, you can be the change you wish to see in the world. You just got to apply to be a plow driver in Waukesha County.
Whoa. From the need of people to people on strike. What could happen to your Miller Lite now that there's workers on strike outside Miller Brewery? Adam Roberts joins us. Okay, well, I think this is a big deal, and it's happening in the Miller Brewery area and Molson Coors. So can you tell me, Adam Roberts, you were there yesterday, right?
I was on day 2 of what's now become a 3-day strike concerning machinists at the brewery.
Okay, so it's not the whole place. So how many are on strike right now?
So right now, as we are in day 3, it's 43 machinists. They're represented by the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, this obviously being the machinist branch of that. And again, it's 43 all employees at the Miller Brewery here in Milwaukee.
What is that issue? What's the reason for the strike?
So there were contract negotiations late last week between the union and Molson Coors, the parent company of the Miller Brewery. And at issue, surprisingly, we've seen a lot of strikes recently, whether it's the port workers or it's UAW now threatening, and those are usually related to wage growth. But this one, according to the people striking, is much more centered on work-life balance. They want time off. They want a little bit more separation from the job and their personal lives, and then also updated insurance policies. And so it was really interesting to hear that was so much not about wages and much more about the ancillary benefits of the job.
That's interesting. So who did you speak to specifically? Like, what did they say?
So I spoke with a couple of the machinists who were on the picket line on State Street, and it seemed very jovial, or I guess not jovial, but calm. Mm-hmm. It's very early, obviously, in the strike. We're not days and weeks into this thing, but they seemed chipper about their prospects. They did say that they're not going back to work until they get what they are asking for. But again, it's very early, so it seemed at least that morale was high enough among them.
What's stopped so far? Because they've stopped.
So according to Molson Coors, who did release a statement to us, it's business as usual down at the brewery for now. They've said they're not expecting any product availability issues. They're not anticipating any slowdown of production. However, we did have a texter on our WTMJ Talk and Text line who's related to one of the machinists striking, and they pointed out to me that a machinist is incredibly important for that product line from when the beer gets produced to when it goes out to your grocery store. And if you suddenly have 43 machinists who are not on the job, it's a very important cog in the machine that's not working.
Well, I think about the dock worker strike that was going on for, less than a week out east. And things aren't going to be affected today or tomorrow or next week, but I always look towards the holiday season. Obviously, Packers season is heating up. It's kind of prime beer drinking season when you get into the winter. They really weren't nervous at all?
Not really. At least the company's front is that they're not too concerned. Now, of course, Milwaukee historically had a pretty big brewery strike about 70 years ago that really reshaped the industry in many ways. This is much more, I think, a hyper-focused. It's not a wide-ranging brewery strike. And I actually talked with one of the machinists, his name's Jose Flores, and asked him if he was hoping that there would be some solidarity from the other brewery workers to their cause.
I understand that contractually they might not be able to, being in different unions, but it's always good to have support from every area of it, of every avenue of people who just want fair work practices,
So as you heard Flores explain, there's some sort of legalese that may not allow other unions at the brewery to join the picket line even if they wanted to. I did reach out to Brewery Workers UAW Local 9, which is also at Miller. They have not yet commented, but I'm awaiting word from their union president.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any other unions there are going to take part because their contracts are all done. So when could this be resolved? When are they going to talk again and go to the table?
So right now, as of day 3, there are no new contract talks planned, at least at this point. As we look ahead into next week, I would assume that there will be a new round once the new work week starts. Some sort of conversation will happen between Molson Coors and the picketing workers. But as of the end of this week, things remain stalled.
Adam Roberts, thank you so much. Wow, that's really interesting. So they're going into the day 3, day 4, day 5, definitely through the weekend. So it's going to be nonstop. Hey, by the way, thank goodness the dock workers strike ended.
Yeah, it
that
seems like
been close.
we're in like the late summer, early fall of like worker strikes because it seems like whether it's going to be public unions or these dock workers, and yeah, like you mentioned, thank goodness that it got figured out, at least for now. I don't think it's a permanent solution. At least for now, things have been figured out.
That was a 3-day strike too.
Yeah.
But it came to an end quickly. They're getting a more than 60% pay increase over the next 6 years. And then they have until January with that agreement before they have to go back to the table. So that's good. All right. Here's your business headlines.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The first indoor pickleball facility in South Milwaukee expects to open in October. The $2.5 million Premier Pickleball Center will feature 12 pickleball courts inside a 40,000 square foot space. A group of workers at the Miller Brewery are on strike after failure to agree on a new contract. The more than 40 union members consist of mechanics and machine repair workers. Malicki's Piggly Wiggly in Oak Creek plans to close in early November. The Malicki family also closed its Racine Piggly Wiggly grocery store earlier this year. I'm Drew Dawson with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations right now. Have a great weekend. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at the Pfister. Enjoy fine dining at its acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Well Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
As the leaves start to turn and the air gets crisp, it's the perfect time to think about your outdoor space. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Go with the company I trust, Landworks Wisconsin. From stunning fall displays and holiday decorating to dormant pruning and bed cleanups, they're doing that for me. Landworks has you covered. The beauty of fall is all around us, and your garden and yard should be no exception. Enhance your outdoor space with professional services from Landworks. Make your home the envy of the neighborhood. Find your outdoor inspiration at landworkswisconsin.com, landworkswisconsin.com.
When you come to our showroom, you'll find more than a dozen glass shower door displays. Now that's what you're going to want to see, because browsing a bunch of options usually spurs ideas that you've never even thought of. And when you walk around with one of our glass shower door experts, you can ask questions and get assurance. We're here to help. And after nearly 50 years in the glass shower door business, there's not a whole lot we haven't seen. So don't worry, your project's about to be put in the very best of hands. At Les's Glass Service, you can count on our experience that makes it easy to promise top-flight installation. Glass shower doors are our specialty, and we're out there humping it every day to add to our portfolio to make the next project even better than the last. This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
A lot of businesses have available space. Creating similar models, especially in the downtown area that invite everyone in, I think that's a winning scenario.
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
It can't feel like a hotel lobby.
No.
I walk in 95% of these spaces, I'm like, why am I leaving my house? Because this is cleaner?
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Flanners Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanners has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanners, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities.
Stop by Flanders in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanders.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
Our team of fiduciary advisors are here to help you retire well with our streamlined retirement process. Give us a call today at 262-522-4040 or visit us at thekowalway.com.
The place to get caught up, to speak out, to connect and be entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3:59. I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news for Friday, October 4th. Your top story, the latest on an officer-involved shooting in Milwaukee.
I'm Mike Spalding, legging it out on the lakefront.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Northbound and southbound 43 going to be tight through the Marquette interchange. Southbound first, Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive, your usual backups. Then we've got more backups from North Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Northbound is going to be slow from the base of the high-rise bridge through the Marquette all the way up to North Avenue. Westbound 94, we're seeing backups from just before 27th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes crossing into Waukesha County, and then in patches all the way to about Barker Road. Eastbound is going to be a bit slow as well from about 84th Street all the way through to 27th. Southbound 41 backing up from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Be our eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be clear and mild, a low of 56. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy. A slight chance of overnight showers and storms, a high of 73. At 4 o'clock, it is currently 63 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, developing news, one suspect dead after an officer-involved shooting took place this morning near 60th and Capitol. Went on for hours on the northwest side after a suspect was holding a gun and failed to respond to police officers. This is Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
After no response from the suspect, the Tactical Enforcement Unit entered the residence and located the 33-year-old male suspect deceased from a gunshot wound.
A 33-year-old victim was rushed to the hospital. We're told that person has life-threatening injuries. One officer is on administrative leave as they investigate.
The suspect in the murder of a boy from Milwaukee is ordered to stand trial. The doctor's report finding that 16-year-old Eric Mendoza is competent to proceed in the murder trial of 5-year-old Prince McCree. Mendoza's attorneys have requested time to investigate a possible not guilty plea by reason of insanity. Mendoza accused of beating McCree to death last year with a barbell, a concrete bird feeder, and a golf club. Back in June, 27-year-old David Patura pleaded guilty to first-degree intentional homicide as party to a crime in the case. He was sentenced to life in prison.
We Energy's customers are speaking out against the proposed rate hike.
Dozens expressed frustrations at a 90-minute Public Service Commission meeting at the Drury Plaza Hotel Thursday. We Energies has asked the commission to approve a 9.2% rate increase for residential customers in 2025, followed by an 8.5% increase in 2026. Before the meeting, about 50 people gathered on the steps of We Energy's headquarters in a protest organized by Action for Climate Emergency. WEC Energy Group says the rate hike does not go to natural gas facilities. It supports new renewable energy and EPA compliance measures. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
East and Gulf Coast ports are reopening today after a 3-day strike ended after the International Longshoremen's Association came to an agreement with the U.S. Maritime Alliance on a tentative agreement on a wage increase. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey says they both have restarted cargo activity.
2 of our terminals will open over the weekend for truck activity, meaning the ability to deliver the cargo out the gates to the warehouses and distribution centers.
The strike is suspended until at least January 15th. The two sides says that it will allow time to renegotiate a new contract.
A scam warning from the Milwaukee Public Market. Someone is posing as a public market employee asking for PayPal payments to secure vending space at a fake event. Any emails not from the market's official email account should be considered a scam.
It's going to be a busy weekend along Milwaukee's lakefront.
It's iconic and popular, and it's back. The Milwaukee Lakefront Marathon. What does this mean for John Q. Public? Well, the route of thousands of runners will take them from 5th in Wisconsin along the lakefront over the Hone Bridge and wrapping up at the Summerfest grounds. This means there'll be plenty of road closures throughout the course, with most starting around 6 a.m. Interested in being a spectator? You can park free at Henry Meyer Festival Park with various other spots along the way to cheer on your runner. Everything will step off at 7 a.m. on Sunday, and the whole route should be open by 1:30. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
Coming up, a new Barbie for an upcoming holiday.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Times 403.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richlands Tire and Service Centers.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Fall is officially underway, and the time is now to get that yard prepped before the cold sets in. But don't fret, David J. Frank Landscape can do the job. David J. Frank has been in business for 65 years, and they can take care of winterizing the yard, or maybe it's adding some plantings and bulbs for spring, or maybe it's refreshing the patio with power washing and sealing. Make autumn awesome with David J. Frank Landscape Contracting. Get a free quote at davidjfrank.com.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Times 405.
Mattel unveils a new doll for Diwali.
Diwali Barbie wears a midnight blue choli top, koti dress, and lehenga skirt, decorated with colorful dahlia, jasmine, and Indian lotus blooms, all three symbols of strength and beauty. The designer, Anita Dongri. The new Barbie's accessories include sparkling gold bangles and earrings. The holiday symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. The doll went on sale today for $40. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Sad day at American Family Field today. The Brewers cleaning out their lockers following last night's stunning season-ending loss to the New York Mets. Shortstop Willie Adames caught up with some members of the media while cleaning things out.
After we lost, we stayed here for like 15 minutes. Nobody moved. Nobody moved from the chair. Silent, quiet. So that tells you right there that, there's a special talent here and a special chemistry that we have, among ourselves. And I've never been in a clubhouse with that chemistry, and to see that pain through everybody's eyes, it was kind of emotional,
And Willie Adames speaking to the media while cleaning out his locker from AmFam today. Adames is one of a small number of pending unrestricted free agents for the Crew this offseason. From AmFam to the gridiron, Packers quarterback Jordan Love is feeling good. That, according to his head coach, Matt LaFleur.
It looks like he's just getting back into the groove. And like I mentioned the other day, not that we want to throw 50-some-odd times in the game, but I thought the more we threw, the better he got. And just it's kind of working through it.
Now, the Packers are back in action this Sunday. They're in Los Angeles taking on the Rams. Kickoff at 3:25.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 407.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Dr. Michael Nolte.
Expertscape recently named him part of the top 1% of spine expertise in the world. Dr. Nolte has published over 50 peer-reviewed articles in leading scientific journals and authored more than 100 national presentations. They added this MVP specialist for orthopedic, neurosurgical, and spine care because at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
When you need to sell quickly, choose Grandview to buy your home. Don't worry about real estate agents or showings. We'll buy your home as is, no repairs or cleanouts needed, and you'll get an offer in hours. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Mike Spalding and Julia Fellow.
So happy you're all with us. Hey, Mike Spalding's with us.
Trying to hold things down while John's gone.
Exactly. Hey, this is one of my favorite things every single week. Eric Bilstead does amazing everyday heroes. Here's WTMJ Eric Bilstead with this one, the Everyday Hero of the Week.
Wisconsin's Morning News identifies an everyday hero as an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life. Today we head to Ashe County, North Carolina, a region that's been hit hard by the tropical storm Helene and the raging floodwaters that followed. Eddie Hunnell was in town in Grassy Creek for his son's wedding. Hunnell said he noticed raging floodwaters and saw a home floating down a river and a group of onlookers screaming for help. Leslie Worth was inside that home trying to figure out what to do.
When it was happening, I was trying to make a calculated risk. How do we save her?
Hunnell tells WCNC that he got a rowboat, tied it to shore, then pushed that boat into the water. He realized the boat wasn't going to be able to reach her, so Hunnell says he jumped in.
I grew up swimming on a swim team. I was a lifeguard. I'm in okay shape, and I just couldn't watch her die. I felt like I needed to do that.
He couldn't watch her die, so he was able to swim toward the woman, grabbed her both in life jackets, then swam to shore and saved this woman's life.
It didn't really hit me until I laid down in bed that night and about had a panic attack. But I didn't see another option.
Leslie and her husband lost everything. Hunnell invited her and her husband to his son's wedding, at least so they could get a full meal. Thank you, Eddie, for being an everyday hero. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
That's incredible. I love Eric's Everyday Heroes. Hey, I have an honorable mention. Do you want to hear about that? Because we still have time.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is in South Carolina. It's a tough one because there's unbelievable images coming out and reports out of the Carolinas, and there's utter devastation. News Nation has this report out of South Carolina. Take a listen.
Beach Island, South Carolina, where we have learned a tree fell on the home of this elderly couple. Marcia and Jerry Jones were found dead, hugging each other in their bed. And in a final act of heroism, Jerry rolled over to try to protect his wife.
So they were married for a really long time. Jerry's 78, Marcia's 74. They were in bed because, they weren't really expecting all of this to happen because we had Sean Gallagher with WRAL. He's used to be with TMJ4, and now he is in the Carolinas, North Carolina, and South Carolina hit almost just as bad. And then you're hearing these stories. The man, as soon as it started to fall down because a tree fell on their home, he tried to cover his wife. And they died together, and they were holding each other. So it's just unfortunate. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows Jerry, that's his name, and Marcia. Jerry is such a hero for trying to save his wife. They were married for more than 60 years. The time right now is 4:12 on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here from my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. They know our climate is all over the place. This means your home comfort system gets quite the workout. Constant adjustments need to be made to adapt to our volatile weather. Wisconsin prepares you to be ready for anything because anything happens. Fear not, because for over 42 years, my friends at Dave Drakamp Heating have lived here too, right by your side, ready and prepared for when anything happens. Spring, summer, fall, winter, even when they all seem to happen within the same week. Whether you're experiencing your next home comfort dilemma now or will be soon, call Dave Drakamp Heating. For free estimates on new equipment, routine maintenance, or just to ensure your system is ready for anything, or maybe because you have a simple question about your home comfort, call Dave Drakamp today. 262-367-2820. That's 262-367-2820. Dave Drakamp Heating, your comfort is their family's tradition. DaveDrakamp.com.
What you need to know on your drive home. Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John McCure.
Give us something not football. What other good stuff did you find? Read the juiciest, most interesting thing that you found.
And Julia Fellow.
He spoke about a day on the beach with friends when they used magic mushrooms and the feeling as if he was merging with the ocean.
Well, if you're doing magic mushrooms, you can be led to believe anything. I mean, who would want to merge with Danica Patrick when you can merge with the ocean?
3 to 6 p.m. here on WTMJ.
Hi everyone, Jeff Levering here, and when we moved into our home 10 years ago, we knew the time would come to replace our roof. That came sooner than we thought with the storms during the spring. So we called the pros at Ridgetop Exteriors, and they did more than just live up to their motto, trusted, local, and affordable. Within just a few weeks, we had our new roof picked and completed. Their team treated us just like family, and the customer service was a real home run. Give Ridgetop Exteriors a call and book your appointment today to ensure your project gets completed before the next big storm.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Traffic and weather. Let's go with the roads with Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb.
Hey there, southbound on 41, backing up for just before Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. Northbound's a little slow too, from Mayfair Road all the way up towards Capitol. Southbound on 43, got some backups from Hampton to Capitol, and then back on the brakes from Locust down through the Marquette. Northbound's going to be backed up out of the Marquette up to about Fond du Lac Avenue. We've also got some backups on the bypass heading southbound from Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange all the way to about 84th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear and mild, a low of 56. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy. There is a slight chance of overnight showers and storms that could wake you up overnight this weekend, a high of 73. Sunday is the pick day. It will clear up, a high of 71. Monday, it's sunny, a bit cooler, a high of 67. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 65 degrees.
From sidelines to the locker room.
I think it's important to understand that when Matt LaFleur kind of blew his stack late in the first half, official that is closest to him on the sideline, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was daydreaming. Like, I certainly, Lord knows people during my questions, I'm sure, start daydreaming because they're so long.
And everything in between.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late? We got a rule in the team meeting. You don't interrupt the meeting. Sit your butt outside.
No one covers the team like Jason Wilde.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, but I don't do enough politics.
It's time to get caught up on the green and gold.
He's a Wisconsin Afternoon News Hall of Famer.
I don't have any interest in really anything handy at all.
With today's Insider.
What the hell's going on out here?
ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde.
Woo! It's Friday. Every Monday and Friday, we're joined by the amazing Jason Wilde. Check out his show every weekday from 9 to noon, Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin radio station. Jason, happy Friday.
Who's on their show less? Mercure on this show or Tauscher when he's on vacation all the time?
Buddy, it's a close one. I think it's going to have to be Mercure. I can't imagine Tausch has gone this long. There's a reason his name isn't on this show and Tausch's name is on his show still.
Well, I'm glad to be with Julia and Mike. That's a good tandem, too.
He's gone for 2 weeks, just so you know.
2 weeks?
He's in Europe. But he will be watching the Packers game this week. He'll be watching
Must be rough.
Hey, I heard that you were talking on your show today about the Brewers.
Yeah. I don't look. I feel bad for Brandon. I feel bad for all my friends who are Brewers fans that are just crestfallen and, as Brandon and I were talking about, kicked in the gut or maybe a little bit lower. by what happened last night. And it was, I can't explain this, so I won't bother, but I'm just, from all these years of covering sports, I'm just wired differently. And I turned off the game after that and took the dogs for a walk and got ready to head down to Steinhoffels to do today's show with Tausch. So it's different for me, but I feel a lot of pain for all those Brewers fans that are really having a hard go of it today with the season being over.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You know, Jason, when I was listening to you guys this morning, I was thinking about when you said, well, I just turned the game off and I moved on. When you're reporting the news, you kind of do the same thing. It's your job. You go, you report, you go home, and it doesn't really stick with you the same way it would maybe a viewer or a listener. So even though you're not covering the Brewers, as a fan, it doesn't stick with you a little more. I get why a Packers game could leave you in a rough patch for 40 minutes and then you kind of get over it because you're with the team so often. But as a Brewers fan, you don't let yourself get a little whimsical about a season at all?
I'll tell you what got me. The one thing that did get me, Adam McKelvey from Brewers.com posted a clip, and maybe we had it as well, of Christian Yelich talking at his locker about Bob Uecker and about the disappointment. Like, we had Robin Yount, who's obviously amazing, and Tausch decided to have my childhood hero call into the show to try and get me to go to the game last night. And Robin talked about the same thing. Like, Bob Uecker is not a young man. We don't know how much longer we're going to have him with us. And this was a great opportunity. And to see, like, Yellie's eyes were red and full of tears. And so that tells you how much Bob obviously means to them. And while it's a disappointment for everyone, I do think that there is a feeling in that clubhouse of just, here's this iconic guy who's been with this franchise since pretty much its inception. And it would be really nice for us to win one while he's still with us. And that added to all the other disappointment of last night.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. All right, let's move on and turn the page.
It's a good idea. I feel like everyone should try to do that, but it's not easy to do.
It's hard. I'll get over it. Okay, week 5. Whoa, Packers list 7 questionable?
They got a lot of guys on their injury report. Yeah, and then there's 2 that are doubtful. It'll be interesting to see who kind of emerges at wide receiver, because Christian Watson's not going to play, and Romeo Doubs has some sort of personal matter that they have not divulged, and he's listed as doubtful too. So that means Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Bo Melton, and Malik Heath are kind of going to be the fearsome foursome at wide receiver. So it's that's a problem. I think those guys that are questionable, there's some concerns there about at cornerback, but the good news is, if you're a Packers fan, all of the Rams' best wide receivers are injured. So at least it won't be too catastrophic if you don't have the guys to cover them.
Yeah, the Rams have been going through a bit of a tough stretch to begin the season. Am I out there on an island alone, Jason, or am I correct in thinking that maybe a few more opportunities for Jaden Reed, because I do think he remains one of the more explosive players, if not the most explosive player on the Packers offense. Maybe he gets a little bit more opportunity without a Doubs and without a Watson on the field.
Well, I do feel like there's like Spalding Island, and you're on an island a lot. So I you should be used to that by now. But no, I think you're right. And look, we've spent all this time talking about how they don't have a number 1 wide receiver, and that's great because you never know who the guy's going to be. But I think it's pretty clear that he is option 1. He is the guy that makes the magic kind of happen for this offense, and he does it in so many versatile ways. But, I spent some time talking to Jaden this week and some other guys about him. And what I think is really interesting, and I'm writing it for the Sunday State Journal, is that not only have they gotten incredible production from him, but he is like their energy guy. Like, if you were watching the game last Sunday and they finally score a touchdown at the end of the half, I mean, he was a one-man, like, cheerleading section, the band, the Bratzuka, like everything that you could possibly do at a sporting event to try and get the crowd into it, he tried to do. And I just think that he's got such an infectious personality that then spreads to his teammates. And that not as much as his production, which is way more important, but that persona, that energy, I think there's a lot of value in that too, and he's really good at it.
Jason, I don't know if you know this or not, but I think there's a connection of some sort between Matt LaFleur and some of the coaches on the Rams. Were you aware of this? There's like a brother situation going on. There's like a mentor situation taking place. What's the deal here?
Yeah, smaller story, but I know you've been following it, as they say in Fletch back in 1984, which you're too young to have seen. But look, what's interesting here is not only is Mike LaFleur, his younger brother, the offensive coordinator for the Rams, and he's got, look, LaFleur, there's a little bit of a, been there, done that now, because he's coached against all of his buddies and his brother a number of times since he took over in 2019. But it's interesting that Mike LaFleur has Matt's old job. Matt was the offensive coordinator for the Rams in 2017 under Sean McVay. But, Sean McVay is the one guy, I think, in addition to his brother, that Matt is closest with. I don't think he's as close anymore with Kyle Shanahan. I know he's close with Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Dolphins, but it's really, Sean McVay that's his other brother from another mother. And so, and his brother from another mother is sick of losing to him. He's yet to beat him since Matt became the head coach. So I know he's looking to get a win this time.
Yeah, that's something that's really interesting, that the Packers and LaFleur have kind of had McVay's number, and not a lot of teams can say that. We're getting up against the end here, but is there something that the Packers do that you're going to be watching for that's historically worked, that LaFleur's unlocked, that other teams just haven't had that same luck with?
Yeah, I do think that even though it's been with different coordinators and everything else, they've, more than anything else, and I think Sean would agree with me, they've kind of caught him at the right time every time, right? A couple of these games that they've lost to the Packers, Aaron Donald was either limited or not playing at all. That was a big deal. Now he's retired, so now they catch him again without Aaron Donald, without the wide receivers. So this is the kind of game that the Packers have no business losing, given where the Rams are at, even though they're on the road. So this is a game where they have to take control and keep control. I'll be curious to see if they actually do it on Sunday.
Awesome. Are you going on the road, Jason, or no?
After 21 years of doing it, my last full time on the road was 2016.
Whoa.
And
okay.
I would. It's been a while. I would much rather be at the girls' sporting events than the Packers' sporting events. So it works well for me.
All right. He is the amazing Jason Wilde. Check out his show every weekday from 9 to noon, Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
I will send you that check for using amazing that many times, Julia. All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you very much. Hey, speaking of amazing, Wall Street closing.
I know.
The market's reacting well to a very strong job report today. The Dow closing up 341 points at 42,352. The Nasdaq up 219 at 18,137. The S&P closing 51 points up heading into the weekend. That's at 57.51. That is your Annex Wealth Management market update. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
Hey, John Mercure here for Guthrie & Fry Water Conditioning. I've got their water softener. I've got an RO system from Guthrie & Fry. That means the water coming into my house is filtered. It's crisp, clean, clear. Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie & Fry. Quality products and services at a fair price from a local company you can trust. Guthrie & Fry protects the water in my house. They deliver the salt. Sue and Rob, owners, very generous. And on top of it, they'll treat your family like their family. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice is Guthrie & Fry.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie & Fry.
People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? Wish Caregiver Careers can get you started as a certified direct care professional. You'll learn the skills you need to make life better for older adults or people with a disability. All training is free and online. Plus, earn $500 in bonuses. Start your new career. Sign up today at WisCaregiverCDCP.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
I would like to tell you about my position on abortion because Senator Baldwin and her allies are making false statements. This is an issue that has divided our country for far too long. We have to come together and find a common sense and compassionate solution. Personally, I believe that is achieved by sending the issue directly to Wisconsin voters through a referendum. I will have my one vote like everyone else. I believe in the beauty of life. I've been blessed with 2 daughters of my own. However, I've always supported exceptions in the case of rape, incest, and the life of the mother. And I believe there's a reasonable time frame early in a pregnancy for a woman to make a choice. What I'm opposed to is Senator Baldwin's position that allows a baby that can be born healthy and alive to be terminated even up to the point of delivery. That is unconscionable. We as Wisconsinites need to solve this issue together.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Rate Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, the Federal Reserve finally cut their overnight interest rate by 0.5%, but mortgage rates already had this cut baked in. Good news is AccuNet can deliver a 30-year fixed APR between 5.7% and 6.4% on a $260,000 30-year fixed rate loan with 25% down payment and all the other best attributes. The APR depends on how much you want to spend in closing costs and a lot of other factors. Now, will lower mortgage rates get more homeowners to list their homes for sale? Maybe a little, but it's almost certain more buyers will come off the sidelines, which is why you need a highly skilled AccuNet loan consultant more than ever, along with our rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to help get your offer accepted. It's also a good time to take a look at a genuine zero loan cost refi. Whatever you do, don't settle for a flimsy pre-approval or high closing costs from your bank or other lender. Click on the blue button today for a no-pressure refi checkup or to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
Since 1994, Heart of Canal Street has donated more than $21 million to hundreds of children's charities in southeast Wisconsin. And 30 years later, Potawatomi Casino Hotel is continuing the tradition. I love this. John Mercure here, and I'm joined by Sarah Neubauer from Potawatomi to tell us more about the unique program. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Heart of Canal Street is Potawatomi Casino Hotel's signature giving program. And each year, hundreds of local children's charities apply for a chance at winning thousands of dollars to help their missions. And this year, we're giving away a total of over $500,000 to 30 local children's charities to celebrate our 30th anniversary.
Oh, my gosh, that is so incredibly generous. How can guests take part in Heart of Canal Street?
So now through December 17th, we invite you to share your heart simply by playing the Heart of Canal Street bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. When you play this special game, you help raise funds to give away to children's charities. And we're also doing a roundup option to fundraise at our 1100 Bar and Lounge, Bar 360, and at Cream City Coffee Company.
That's an awesome option. I know a lot of people, including me, enjoy Cream City Coffee at Potawatomi. They even have a fall menu going on right now, right?
Yes, we have our classic pumpkin spice lattes and frappes. We also have a pear cider refresher, a pumpkin spice hot white chocolate, and a caramel spiced apple cider. It's so delicious. And for a warm cocktail option, we have a brandy apple cider added to the menu as well.
Oh, my gosh, that's incredible. I'm a pastry guy. Are there fall-inspired pastries?
There is, absolutely. There's a pumpkin cream cheese muffin, pumpkin bread, an apple cider donut, caramel apple crumb bar, a fig cream cheese Danish with honeycomb, and much more. They really pulled out all the stops, and they sound phenomenal.
They do, and the sportsbook is going big time. Now you can reserve your spot for the big weekend games. For more information on all this, check out paysbig.com. Sarah, thank you.
Thank you.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:31. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story: a lengthy standoff comes to an end.
I'm Mike Spalding in for John Mercure, banning books for prisoners.
I'm Debbie Lazigo. We've got a crash at the end of 794 southbound, right about at Edgerton. You're going to see possibly some lane closures with that one, so just be careful. Southbound 43, still slow from Silver Spring down past Capitol. Back on the brakes from North Avenue down through the Marquette. Northbound's going to be slow from the Marquette all the way up almost to North Avenue, just past Fond du Lac Ave. Eastbound 94, we got some pockets of heavy traffic coming out of the Barker Road area to Brookfield Road, then back on the brakes from about 92nd Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be clear and mild, a low 56. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a slight chance of overnight showers and storms, a high of 73. Current temperature right here in Milwaukee is 63 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, one man is dead. Another has serious injuries after an officer-involved shooting today. It started at about 8:30 this morning near 68th and Capitol on the northwest side. Officers commanded a 33-year-old male suspect, they say, to drop his firearm, but he refused. Officers then fired at him, and he retreated back into the house. Then there was a standoff. Tactical teams eventually found him dead inside. Here's Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
While the origins of this suspect injury is unknown at this time, the officer will be placed on administrative duty, as is routine, in officer-involved shooting investigation.
33-year-old was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries.
A suspect charged in the murder of a young boy from Milwaukee is now ordered to stand trial.
A doctor's report finds 16-year-old Eric Mendoza is competent to proceed in the murder trial of 5-year-old Prince McCree. Mendoza's attorneys have requested time to investigate a possible not guilty by reason of insanity plea. Mendoza is accused of beating McCree to death with a barbell, a 70-pound concrete bird feeder, and a golf club in October of 2023. 27-year-old David Patura pleaded guilty to first-degree intentional homicide as a party to a crime in the case and was given a life sentence back in June. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A status conference for Mendoza's case is scheduled for November 8th.
Decision Wisconsin. The nation endured conspiracy theories and investigations in 2020 related to attempts to overturn the results of the election. Will it happen again? Executive Director for Common Cause Wisconsin, Jay Heck, tells Spanning the State, we know what to expect this time around.
Many of the same conspiracy theorists and election deniers that were sort of leading the charge back then. We know who they are this time, and we know what to expect from them. And I think groups that are concerned about fair voting and making sure that people have access to the polling place are much better organized.
Heck adds that those who served as false electors in 2020 can never serve as electors again.
A new report revealing that Wisconsin election clerks referred 30 instances of suspected fraud to prosecutors over the past year. 18 of those referrals involved somebody voting twice. Others involved a felon who registered to vote, somebody voting in Wisconsin but being registered in another state. Others also found discrepancies between municipal and county totals for write-in candidates. Although fraud does happen occasionally, the decentralization of America's elections does make large-scale voting fraud nearly impossible. Wisconsin has 1,800 local clerks.
Banning books for prisoners. The Department of Corrections is banning Wisconsin books to prisoners from sending books to other prisoners. Co-founder Cami Mathey explains to Spanning the State how their process works.
They write to us and request books by subject matter or genre, and we respond by sending them 3 books that we hope they'll enjoy that meets, their interest.
The Department of Correction claims the people that have been impersonating groups like theirs send drugs into the prisons. The Wisconsin ACLU is investigating whether the DOC has violated their First Amendment rights as a distributor.
A loose wire raising public safety concerns. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting that cyclist Ronald Ecker was slashed in the neck while biking along a Lincoln Memorial Drive back in September. They say the wire was originally strung up 3 years ago by an Orthodox Jewish group called Shabbat of the East Side as part of a program which eases Orthodox Jewish residents' Shabbat restrictions. A rabbi says that it's the third such incident in which the wire's fallen across roads on Milwaukee's east side.
The City of Milwaukee Public Works Department is still on the hunt for the city's annual Christmas tree. It must be 30 feet tall and located within the City of Milwaukee. The deadline for submitting an eligible tree this year is October 11th.
There's an effort right now to map the bottom of the Great Lakes. Experts say it could reveal the location of hundreds of shipwrecks, though a man here in Milwaukee says he's already discovered many.
Shipwreck hunter Jerry Geyers found more than 24 shipwrecks in Lake Michigan. He'll never forget the first. It was just outside Milwaukee's breakwall.
I was by myself that day. The lake was calm, as it sometimes is. I anchored, jumped in the water with my scuba gear, and sure enough, there was a whole shipwreck right there in front of my eyes.
Wow.
That no one had ever known about.
Well, Geyer discovered some of the shipwrecks quickly. Others escaped him for decades.
Wreck that took me 25 years to find is well defined in the library and in the newspapers. Where it sank, when it sank, people watched it sink. It still took me 25 years to find it because it had deteriorated to such a point. No part of the wreck is higher than this table.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Packers quarterback Jordan Love says his knee is responding well in the days following last Sunday's performance against the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers back in action out west this weekend. They're in Los Angeles taking on the Rams. Kickoff Sunday at 3:25. The Badgers, meanwhile, continue Big Ten play. Saturday, they take on Purdue. On the NBA hardwood, the Bucks open up the preseason Sunday. They take on the Pistons in Detroit.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:37.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
When you breathe well, you live better. Find out more at AdventKnows.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
What a week! Presidential visits to the Badger State, escalation in the Middle East, heartbreak for the Bruce City, and more. It's the Weekend Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Intercepted, the third interception of Jordan Love today. 37-yard field goal is away. Oh, it hits the upright. No good.
I don't understand how kickers just missed, though. A new federal grand jury indictment now charges Ryan Ruth with attempted assassination of a presidential candidate.
I'm going to jail.
Legendary NBA player Dikembe Mutombo has died at 58 years old.
May his soul rest in peace. My support to his family and all his loved ones and friends.
Glorilla shot her shot at you. You giving that any kind of action? It's 7 p.m. Friday.
I'm weak. That is hilarious.
What was that? What was that?
In honor of President Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday today, the North Lawn of the White House will feature a display with the message, "Happy Birthday, President Carter," and the number 100.
Iran has fired missiles into Israel, and residents are ordered to remain close to bomb shelters as air raid sirens sounding across the country today.
At my direction, the United States military actively supported the defense of Israel.
Israel, with the active support of the United States and other partners, effectively defeated this attack.
I give you the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful state. I love this state.
Thank you for joining us for tonight's CBS News vice presidential debate.
He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
Special Counsel Smith argues that Trump's actions to overturn the 2020 election were not the official acts of a president, but the illegal deeds of a losing candidate.
The question of immunity, in my opinion, again, a layperson, the court just handed it back and said, you figure that out.
Embattled former city attorney Tierman Spencer faces a misconduct in office charge.
Just over 3 dozen union employees at Miller Brewery have spent the past 2 days marching up and down State Street, picket signs in hand.
Just trying to get fair contract communication so we can work together with the company and work-life balance and stuff that is important with us and our families.
A doctor's report finds 16-year-old Eric Mendoza is competent to proceed in the murder trial of 5-year-old Prince McCree.
Work resuming immediately after an uncertain 3 days that saw ports from Maine to Texas shut down.
The tentative agreement would increase workers' wages by 62% over the life of the 6-year contract.
The pitch, a double play ball hit to Lindor, and the throw is going to wind up with a double play, and the New York Mets, after coming from behind with a big 4-run 9th inning. Wow, I'm telling you, that one had some sting on it.
Everyone did their job except for me.
Talking to Yuki, one-on-one was tough.
There is no tomorrow tonight for the crew.
I just want Milwaukee to get past 1982 and go on for the future for the next generation.
Thanks for the great birthday gift yesterday, guys, but we're 1-1 as a 30-year-old.
This is Jeff Levering saying goodbye for the final time in 2024. We'll chat with you again next spring.
So long, everybody.
That's the Week in Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. It's 4:42 on WTMJ.
Wisconsin volleyball has a new home.
It's match point in Madison.
Wisconsin.
Catch all the excitement of the 2024 season.
Booth and Spreck putting up that Wisconsin wall.
And don't miss out on moments like this.
Booth dunks it down with two hands, and that's a point for Wisconsin. Set, Spreck, Hill, Franklin.
Badgers Volleyball on WTMJ is presented by Steinhoffels. Don't miss any of the action right here on Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here from my good friends at Connect Chiropractic, voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor by the Milwaukee Business Journal's readers. They help with headaches. They help with sleep concerns. They help me with my neck and my back. I kind of carry my stress in my upper neck area, and I wasn't feeling so great till I started going to Connect, and now I feel better all the time. I go every week. 2 locations, easy to get to. One in Tosa, one in Delafield. Dr. Alex, Dr. Marley, Dr. Olivia, they're going to take great care of you. They've got a long-term care focus on total wellness. It's Connect Chiropractic.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
People saw me and assumed I couldn't work. They only saw a disability, but I was ready to work. I am dependable, trainable, and productive. Then someone decided to believe in me and say yes.
And once you say yes, Thinkability Wisconsin will be there, providing transition and workforce support for people with disabilities and their employers to help shape a better future for all. It all starts when you say yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
We found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semper Fi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Traffic and weather, let's get where you need to safely with Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb.
Hey, Julia. Yeah, we got some problems now. Eastbound 94, right about at 68th Street, got the left lane blocked with a crash. That is backing things up into the Zoo interchange. Also got some other backups heading out of the Barker Road area, too, but those are just general heavy delays. We've got also a road closure. This is 794, right around that Edgerton thing that I was talking about. It's basically, the northbound and southbound closed between Layton and Edgerton, all because of a crash. So that's going to affect your ride if you're going to be heading through there. Right now, southbound slowing down from Howard Avenue down into that closure. So if you can avoid that area, that'll save you some aggravation. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear and mild. Feel nice, a low of 56. Have those windows open. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy. A slight chance of overnight showers that could wake you up in storms. High of 73. Then Sunday, pick day, mostly sunny. A high of 71. Monday, it's sunny but a bit cooler. A high of 67. Tuesday, mostly sunny. The high will be 65. Current temperature right here in Milwaukee is 63 degrees and sunny.
Welcome back to Wisconsin's Afternoon News. I'm Mike Spalding, sitting in for John Mercure alongside Julia Fellow here on this Friday, October 4th. Big day today for the U.S. economy, with economic issues looming large is the key issue going into November's election. Both presidential nominees have a new batch of numbers to look through today. ABC's Jim Ryan on the latest jobs report.
Running on strength in the restaurant, medical, and construction sectors, the economy churned out 254,000 jobs in September. Unemployment slipped to 4.1%. That eclipsed the most optimistic predictions. Behind the numbers, though, signs of stress in the labor market. 21% of unemployed Americans have been out of work for more than 6 months.
Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says the report today should, quote, help bolster some confidence in the U.S. economy.
Consumer confidence recently has reflected some increased concern about the health of the job market. When we have the unemployment rate falling, when we have the number of jobs added on the rise, that helps to address some of those concerns. It is important to note, though, that over the longer term, we've had some cooling of the job market. The nation's unemployment rate was as low as 3.4% in April of last year. We've now been tiptoeing through the low 4% range, but we're down from 4.3% just a couple of months ago, and now at 4.1%.
This month's report also significant because it's the last of what analysts call a, quote, clean report before that November 5th election. Bit more on that from ABC analyst Alexis Christoforous.
The October report will reflect Hurricane Helene. It will reflect this short-lived dock workers strike that we saw, and there's also a work stoppage in parts of the Boeing company. So all of those things can play on the October report and skew it. So this is sort of the last clean report we get.
The economy is routinely the number one issue among voters, both nationally and locally. The latest Marquette University Law School poll that came out this week showed the economy was the number one issue among 37% of Wisconsin voters who responded to that survey. For some perspective, the number two issue was immigration. The number three issue was abortion. Both of those only got to about 15% among the number one choices for voters. So, again, highlighting how high the economy ranks among concerns heading into November 5th. So armed with that knowledge, both camps of the presidential nominees, I should say, had jumped at today's report.
President Biden calls the September jobs report, quote, good news for American workers and families, and highlights that with this latest data, there have been 16 million jobs created during his administration. Still, the president says, quote, make no mistake, we have more to do to lower costs and expand opportunity. He calls on Congress to move forward on his plans for building millions of new homes, expanding prescription drug price caps, and more tax cuts. Lawmakers are on recess until after the election. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
On the other side, President Trump today taking issue with that report, shining a light on the fact that the U.S. economy actually lost manufacturing jobs and said the Biden administration, quote, puts foreign workers first.
So we want to know, how is this going to affect all of us here at home, in Wisconsin, in our area? I spoke to Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Brian Jacobson, about this.
Sure. I think that the biggest thing is it was a pleasant surprise. It was much stronger than what we expected. But what that then means is that the Fed is likely to not need to cut another 0.5 percentage points when they meet right after the election. So I think that was one of the changes that we saw in the market pricing, is what is the Fed's next move? Because they already moved by 0.5 percentage point, and there's been some speculation that they're going to need to do another supersized cut. But now it looks like maybe they can just do 0.25 percentage points, if cut at all. So that's what the market is really trying to wrestle with here. But the rate that's really relevant to most individuals is going to be like that 30-year fixed rate mortgage, or you can think about the rate on auto loans. What are you also earning on your savings account? So the rates that are really relevant to people, I think that we are going to see those mortgage rates move a little bit higher.
So if you're looking for anything with buying a new house, yeah, those mortgage rates likely not going to go down, according to Chief Economist Brian Jacobson with Annex Wealth Management. Did you hear about the oil prices that spiked really high?
Yes, I've also noticed it.
My tank is full right now. But oil prices sharply rose with this comment from President Biden. He was just in a gaggle. He got off of Air Force One and then took the helicopter, and the helicopter was going, and it was right at the White House, and he just was asked this question.
Do you support Israel striking Iran's oil facilities, sir?
We're in discussion of that. I think that would be a little, anyway.
So we're in discussions with it. I think that's going to be a little anyway. And then he kind of didn't moved his head and didn't want to talk about it anymore. But that still moved the needle. So Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Brian Jacobson, shares how previous presidents have shook the markets in different ways. Even little remarks. Take a listen. Just that comment, what did that do?
Yeah, as a market participant, when I heard that, it is one of those where if that's being discussed as a possibility, it becomes part of your calculation as to, is it going to become probable that Israel does indeed attack one of those terminals or some of their oil capacity? And I think that's how it was interpreted, is that if it's being discussed out in the, between the Netanyahu and President Biden as to will the United States agree to it or not, and he didn't give a definitive answer. So it makes it in the realm of possibility, which then means that it suddenly becomes something that the market is trying to price in, the possibility that we do see the 1.3 million barrels a day that's coming out of Iran suddenly off the markets. And if that also happens, what does it mean in terms of any of Iran's allies? How do they retaliate?
Yeah, because we don't buy Iran's oil, but it does go onto the world market, right? And China buys it?
Exactly. Yep. China buys it. Other countries buy it. And oil is one of these things where there are different grades of it as far as, the quality, different chemical characteristics. But it is pretty fungible, meaning that if Iran's comes off, yes, the United States is a net producer of it, so it can benefit our energy companies, which is why you see U.S. energy stocks doing pretty well. But it affects the global price of oil, which affects the price at the pump that we see when we're driving around.
I was just thinking about when George Bush fell off of his bicycle one time. I don't know if you remember this in the early 2000s. Sure. Do you remember when he just simply fell off a bicycle and it moved the needle on the markets?
Yes, I do recall that. And in fact, it reminded me of, it used to be that it had to be something bigger, because I think it was when Dwight Eisenhower, he suffered a heart attack before I think he started campaigning or an election, and the market sold off dramatically, and that was back in the 1950s. And so falling off a bicycle, I didn't think it was going to be that severe, but it can move markets because it can change leadership. When leadership changes, it changes policies, and that has all sorts of long-lasting effects.
I thought that was really interesting. He also went into when Ronald Reagan, that attempted assassination, how the markets moved with that, because you didn't know what was going to happen with that. So it was really interesting to hear from Brian from Annex Wealth Management.
Well, and you always think about, how is this going to affect what the markets are?
Yeah.
How's Wall Street going to respond? Usually when something like that happens, oil prices go up, you're going to see people divest a little bit and your markets are going to go down. So that seemed to have been overshadowed a little bit by the strong jobs report today, at least if you take kind of that quick snapshot of what the markets look like. Because today, all three major indices closed in the green. The Dow up 341 points, the NASDAQ up 219.5, the S&P 500 up 51 points. So whatever the response was by the markets, it seems to have taken the jobs report, I guess, with a little bit more weight than what the president was saying outside of Air Force One. Does go to get me to question, why did the president's handlers let a question like that get to him outside of an airplane while getting onto a helicopter? Does not really seem like the appropriate place to have a question asked, but
it's so interesting, though, with just one little remark by the president, a fall off of a bicycle to, almost having a heart attack to an attempted assassination, how that can move the markets. It's 4:55 on WTMJ. Coming up right after this, your top stories, traffic and weather.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A group of workers at the Miller Brewery are on strike after failure to agree on a new contract. The more than 40 union members consist of mechanics and machine repair workers. Malicki's Piggly Wiggly in Oak Creek plans to close in early November. The Malicki family also closed its Racine Piggly Wiggly grocery store earlier this year. The first indoor pickleball facility in South Milwaukee expects to open in October. The $2.5 million Premier Pickleball Center will feature 12 pickleball courts inside a 40,000 square foot space. I'm Drew Dawson with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations for the weekend or any weekend. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at the Pfister. Enjoy fine dining at its acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Wells Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
Are you ready to start a meaningful career in healthcare? Are you looking for a job that fits your work-life balance? Become a certified direct care professional today and make life better for older adults or people with a disability. WIS Caregiver Careers makes it easy with free online training plus earn a $500 bonus. See your name on Wisconsin's Certified Direct Care Registry. Sign up today at wiscaregivercdcp.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You know, wouldn't it be nice if we could customize anything in life? Well, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, you can customize just about everything. Gina Della and her team's top-notch. They've got all the materials, all the choices. They're going to help you get exactly what you want. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. The durability of materials gets tested. They open and close doors, the latches, the shades, thousands and thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. They offer unique things like fold-away hardware, custom colors, ease of maintenance, because honestly, who has time for all that stuff? Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin also includes innovative features like shades between the glass, integrated roll screens, and noise reduction. And right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Shut the Pella front door. 0% interest for 3 years. Certain restrictions apply. Ends October 31st. Get started at PellaWI.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, Jim Bob Morse here. Get ready to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% blue Weber agave, award-winning, all-natural, additive-free, and the smoothest tequila Milwaukee, Madison, and Titletown has ever tasted. Get yours today at La Pina on 3rd Street or your favorite local store. Remember, you always win with the undefeated flavor of El Bandito Yankee tequila. And for events, recipes, and places for purchase, go to elbanditoyankee.com.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you feel self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Krause Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox & Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It is 5 o'clock. I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news for Friday, October 4th. Your top story, the state referendum question on the ballot for November.
I'm Mike Spalding in for John Mercure. Alcohol sale numbers from UW Athletics.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Southbound on 794. Not the freeway part, but the roadway part. We've got a closure between Layton Avenue and Edgerton. So it's going to be backed up all the way back towards Howard Avenue. So I'd avoid going through that whole area. By the way, northbound's also closed both directions there. So avoid that area. Otherwise, eastbound 94, we are seeing some delays coming through the Barker Road area all the way to Brookfield Road. And then you're back on the brakes coming out of the zoo interchange to about Hawley Road and again through the stadium. On the westbound side, a little backed up from about 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Then you're just going to ride the brakes from Highway 100 all the way to Barker Road. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be mostly clear, a low of 58. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a high of 75 degrees. Current temperature right now, 63 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, developing news we've been staying on top of all day. A suspect is dead after an officer-involved shooting. It took place this morning near 68th and Capitol on the northwest side after a suspect holding a gun did not respond to police orders to take it and put it down on the ground. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
After no response from the suspect, the Tactical Enforcement Unit entered the residence
and located the 33-year-old male suspect deceased from a gunshot wound.
A 33-year-old victim was transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. One officer is on administrative duty as they investigate.
Former President Donald Trump is touring storm damage across the state of Georgia. CBS's Willie James Inman has more.
Vice President Kamala Harris is campaigning in Michigan today, touting today's jobs report, which shows the U.S. economy added more than 250,000 jobs.
Trump has accused Harris and President Biden of lying about the job numbers to help in the election.
We created 730,000 manufacturing jobs and announced the opening of more than 20 new auto plants in the United States. And we did it by investing in American industry and American workers.
Former President Trump set to return to Butler, Pennsylvania tomorrow, holding a rally in the exact same spot where a would-be assassin shot the president in the ear back in July.
Decision Wisconsin President Joe Biden coming back to the Badger State. He'll be in Milwaukee on Tuesday. We're told he's going to focus on the administration's progress, replacing lead pipes, and also creating jobs. Details on the exact timing and location has not been released yet. Vice President Kamala Harris had a rally in Ripon yesterday with former U.S. Representative and Republican Liz Cheney. Former President Donald Trump will be back in Wisconsin this Sunday. He has a rally at the Dodge County Airport in Juneau.
A question on your November ballot could change the state's constitution. This referendum is asking to change a single word in the Wisconsin State Constitution. That being, should Section 1 of Article 3 be amended to say only a United States citizen under the age of 18 or the age of 18 or older may vote? State Director in Wisconsin for Americans for Citizen Voting, Will Martin, tells WTMJ Spanning the State.
Because courts in other parts of the country have indicated they've looked at this as being clear about citizens but silent on non-citizens. So this, by changing it from every to only, we no longer have any other questions about who is allowed to vote in the state of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin law right now does not currently allow for non-citizens to vote. However, Republican lawmakers say the amendment would prevent Wisconsin from allowing such a change in the future.
To the supermarket, the primary reason for today's higher egg prices and the culling of poultry birds is a result of bird flu. Patrick Westhoff is a director of the FDA Policy Research Institute.
So it all comes down to what the future of the disease is. If we manage to get the bird flu under control and don't have as many cases, we could be looking at a significant drop in prices in 2025.
According to the Agriculture Department, it won't be until mid-next year before prices go down substantially.
Big bucks for UW-Madison regarding alcohol sales this football season thus far. The Capital Times reporting that UW-Madison Athletics earned more than $1.2 million from alcohol sales so far this season. This is the first year that alcohol is able to be sold at Camp Randall during football games. The University Athletic Department says it gets about 52% of all alcohol sales.
Coming up, why Brandon Snide, our producer, loves the new menu at McDonald's.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of health care insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Dave from Feldco. Did drafty windows make last winter frigid? Listen, Feldco's here to make things easier for you. It's the perfect time of year to replace those old windows. Right now, get 50% off windows plus no money down and no interest for 1 year. Visit us at 4feldco.com or give us a call at 866-4FELDCO.
For quality windows windows, siding, and doors. Call 866 for Feldco.
Losing your independence and moving out of your home. It's one of the greatest fears seniors have. What are your most difficult challenges? Daily chores, transportation, loneliness from the loss of friends and family? Seniors Helping Seniors has been serving Southeast Wisconsin for over a decade, specializing in in-home care, catering to your specific needs. Having someone who also acts as a companion will enhance your mental and emotional health and help keep you where you want to be. In-home care for seniors by seniors. Contact Seniors Helping Seniors Waukesha today.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 5:07.
There's a new item on the menu at McDonald's.
McDonald's says its long-anticipated Chicken Big Mac will hit menus on October 10th. The new item pays homage to the fast food chain's 5-decade-old signature sandwich, replacing its 2 all-beef patties with 2 battered chicken patties instead.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Sad day at American Family Field today. Brewers players in attendance, cleaning out their lockers following last night's season-ending loss to the New York Mets. The Brewers back in action in February for spring training. In Green Bay, Packers quarterback Jordan Love says he's feeling good following his first action last Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. He was out for a couple weeks due to a knee injury. Head coach Matt LaFleur.
It looks like he's just getting back into the groove. And like I mentioned the other day, I mean, not that we want to throw 50 some odd times in the game, but I thought the more we threw, the better he got. And just it's kind of working through it.
And Packers travel to Los Angeles, take on the Rams Sunday afternoon.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:08.
Hey, guess what? It's a family fish fry Friday. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Don't pay $16 or more. Your Mind Chef restaurant fish fry is just $4.99. $4.99. Seriously. The 2-piece dine-in fish fry is $4.99. Add $2 and it's all you can eat for $6.99. It's the best Friday dining value anywhere. Sip on a delicious old-fashioned. Enjoy a Manhattan, a bourbon, a glass of wine, or an ice-cold beer with your $4.99 fish fry. Kids menu that starts at $3.99, and they'll love that world-class game room. Quietly tucked aside from the dining area, you enjoy your dinner, they enjoy big fun. Wherever you live, it's worth the easy drive for your $4.99 Mind Chef fish fry. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. Serving begins at 11 a.m. Get there early. The Mind Chef in downtown Hartford, just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh. One of my favorite places. Visit mindchefrestaurant.com. Enjoy your $4.99 fish fry.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Mike Spaulding and Julia Fellow.
5:09. So glad you're with us, Mike.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Thank you.
John has flown the coop. For 2 weeks, he's going to be in Europe.
We got lots of good fill-ins, though.
With a whole bunch of listeners. If you ever want to go on one of John's trips, that is definitely a hot tip.
When do we get to go on John's trips?
Yeah, well, Mike, you're a boss.
That's a great question. I'll get back to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll get back to us. All right, so every Friday we have this segment.
In case you missed it.
Mike, you'll do the honors.
I will. Thank you so much, Julia. Dateline, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hello.
Garbage collection isn't the dirty job it used to be, at least not for the environment. The city of Madison unveiling plans to put into rotation a pair of electric garbage trucks. The city's Department of Public Works, unveiling them last month, said in a statement it's part of their plan to reduce carbon emissions. That's it. That's the story. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's not the whole story. That would have been pretty ho-hum. No, the point of the story is to raise awareness of the new trucks. Madison's asking for your input and giving them names. It's a tried and true trope, right? We all remember the royal boat in the UK named Boaty McBoatface. Other instances of public naming gone wrong. Greenpeace asked the internet's input on a whale, ended up naming it Mr. Splashy Pants. A NASA rocket was named after Stephen Colbert. In Minnesota, the DPW for years has been asking people to name their snowplows. Last year's winner included Taylor Drift, Clark W. Gliswold, Beyond Sleigh, Fast and Furious, and Barbie's Dream Plow. Well, now to Madison. The finalists for their electric garbage truck names include Trash Gordon, Zap Trash Again, that's a deep cut from Futurama fans. Lenny Gravitz, my personal favorite. Sherlock Ohms, OHMS. TJ Kilowatt, which I have a feeling will win. And the Bin DeLorean. Those are okay. Trash Gordon's my personal favorite, but I'm going to put you all on the spot and make this inclusive. Julia, if you had to name an electric garbage truck, what are you going with?
I would do Mr. Clean or Electro. What was that? The Spider-Man, what Jamie Foxx played in like Spider-Man 3? Was it Electro or something?
Yeah, Electro.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Brandon?
I'm going to go with Bin Diesel.
Oh, Bin Diesel's a good one. Oh, good luck, Debbie. What's yours?
Stinky McGee.
Stinky McGee.
Yeah,
that
I like
actually
that one too. That's good.
Could possibly win.
Stinkerston.
I went around the office and asked people what their thoughts were.
Oh, yeah?
Here's some. Morning producer Greg Hill. Frank Zappa. The electricity there.
Nice.
Juka, who works in the home office side. Lightning McGreen, like Lightning McQueen from the movie Cars. I thought that one was really good.
That's good.
ESPN Milwaukee producer Ashton Rotman. Recyclops.
Nice.
Good offense reference.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. We had a Bob Euchre, like you, like ew, like trash.
Okay, Euchre. Okay.
My personal favorite, Optimus Grime.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Anyway, you can go vote right now. If you go to the City of Madison's website, the GPW site, vote on your top 5 and let us know if you have one. Shoot us a text and talk and text line. Stinky McGee, right in.
In case you missed it.
Okay, so this woman got the ultimate redemption when just a couple days before her wedding, the fiance ditched her. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is in Yorkshire, England. Lauren Scott Berry, she's 34 years old, set to wed. Guess how much her dress was? Mine was over $1,000. I don't know. Hers was $335.
Oh, that's a steal.
US dollar.
That's a good deal.
I thought that was a steal. So she said, quote, I felt like I lost so much, she told the New York Post. I'm in my 30s and we're talking about having children after being married. And then I felt like my whole future had crumbled. Well, she actually was able to get some redemption. She took some beautiful photos and she wanted to make sure that, you know, her big day, she'd be able to have ultimately some really great photos. She took it on the boat, on the beach, and she also went on her own honeymoon by herself.
Atta girl.
In her dress.
You already paid for it. You might as well, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he probably put in a little bit of money too, so stick it to him a little bit.
Yeah, excellent.
In case you missed it.
Okay, well, this isn't a scapegoat, but it is a goat that escaped from his home on a Newfoundland and Labrador pumpkin patch, and he ran 3 miles of a local half marathon. That's right. Heidi Taylor says her 10-year-old goat Joshua must have gotten excited when the runners in the Conception Bay South T Railway Trek half marathon ran past the pumpkin patch because he broke free of his tether and metal collar and joined in on the race. She caught up to Joshua and loaded him into the car, but turns out Facebook had alerted her to the fact that he had joined the race. People had been taking so many pictures of this goat. They're saying, hey, look at this goat going through. And she's checked her Facebook and suddenly, oh dear, that's my goat. She drove him to a spot about 800 feet from the finish line so he could complete the race, because, come on, let's be fair. And Joshua was presented with a participation medal at the finish line, where they said, join us in congratulating Joshua on his first ever race. The town of Conception Bay South officials wrote on social media. Congratulations to Joshua for doing his half marathon.
You know what?
In case you missed it.
We're going pumpkin patching and apple picking tomorrow. I would love if there was a loose goat like running around. That would be awesome. I think that should be like a regular feature at these places.
That would be great.
Hey, you know what? What also? That's a perfect thing for fall, and it's coming up next. We're talking about leaf peeping season and something really special for those who are colorblind, how they can take part in the season coming up.
Hey ladies, it's your night at your local running store, Wednesday, October 9th from 4 to 7. Get a prize card in-store and register online for your chance to win a Milwaukee Tool drill kit or one of 20 $50 Runnings gift cards. Grab a bucket for $4.95 and half the proceeds go to a local cancer charity. Then get 20% off all the clothing and footwear you can fit in your bucket and 10% off almost everything else. Some exclusions apply. Ladies' Night, Wednesday, October 9th from 4 to 7 at your local running store. Go to runnings.com for more information and to find a store near you.
Ever get get that feeling that you could be just a little bit more comfortable? Hi, everybody. Debbie Lazaga here for my friends at Kohler Services. How about a lot more comfortable? It's amazing how, without even knowing why, you just feel icky. You know, it could be your shower. That's where you can rely on Kohler Services for a lovely shower remodel. You see, they use their exclusive Luckstone crushed stone material. It's a type of tile that looks just like marble, only it's just a fraction of the price. And with Kohler Services' 150 years of experience, you know they'll be able to help you, providing care for life. How do they do it? Well, someone from Kohler Services will stop by your house when it's convenient for you, make measurements, and they can show you their beautiful portfolio, go over every aspect of the project, and design a beautiful bath or shower just for you. And right now, you can get $1,000 off and zero interest on 12 months of your Luckstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. We're cooking more at home now. We're working out at home. We're hydrating more at home. Guthrie and Fry make sure the water in my house is crisp, clean, and clear. I've got their water softener. I've got an RO system that filters my water. I know that quality products and services at a fair price from a local company is something I can trust. That's Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. Comprehensive, reliable products, fixed rental rates, Guthrie and Fry.
Makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
A strong retirement plan should go beyond investment management. At Kowal Investment Group, our fiduciary advisors can help you reach your retirement goals. Call us today or visit us online at thekowalway.com.
Traffic and weather. Let's get to Debbie Lazaga with your Johnson Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
All right, Julia. Well, that earlier accident that we had on 794 between Layton and Edgerton, where the freeway was, or where the roadway was closed in both directions, that has been cleared out of the way. So yay. Southbound on 43 is going to be a bit backed up from Hampton down to Capitol Drive, a little bit backed up through the Marquette as well. Northbound's tightening up right around Fond du Lac Avenue. Westbound 94, you're seeing delays from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And then you're back on the brakes west of Highway 100 all the way in through Waukesha County to about Barker Road. Eastbound's going to be heavy from Highway F through the Barker Road area and then back on the brakes from 92nd Street all the way to about 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear and mild, a low of 56. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a high of 73. Sunday, pick day, mostly sunny, a high of 71. Monday, sunny, a bit cooler, high of 67. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 65 degrees. Current temperature right here in Milwaukee is 63 degrees. Excellent. Brandon.
Drift by the wind.
So I haven't heard about this, Mike. Have you heard of leaf peeping season? Have you heard of that?
I have not.
If you text watch to 855-616-1620, watch. It's really cool. It's our talk and text line, watch. You can see the fall color report from Travel Wisconsin. So all of southeast Wisconsin right now is green. It's not at peak yet. It's about 25%. So is Door County. The only county closest to us at 50% peak is Manitowoc County. So 6 out of 72 counties in our state are currently at 100% reached. So 100% peak colors.
You got to go up north, right? Like up way north to see them. Yep.
Shawano County, Forest, Oneida, Lincoln, and Langlade counties. Love this music. This is my kind of music. I revealed that I like listening to 40s on 4. On Sirius
That's okay.
XM. Yeah. John did not like that. Okay, so what you may not think about during this time are some who are missing out on seeing what's right in front of them because they're colorblind. So the yellows, reds, and oranges just look muted for some who are colorblind. But Virginia has an awesome idea, and I hope it comes to the Badger State. They made leaf peeping season possible for colorblind guests all over their parks. They have special viewfinders in all of their state parks, so when someone's colorblind, they can look through the viewfinder. They can enjoy all the fall colors for the first time. So this is from the Virginia Park System. Take a listen to those who are colorblind looking for the first time.
The best way I could describe it is if I had a computer monitor that the colors were messed up on and somebody went and adjusted it for me. It's like somebody took a highlighter to the world.
I'm just kind of taken aback. You know, I look out here and I see two different shades of what I know in my mind are green. And then I look through this, and it's a fountain of colors.
Fountain of colors. I love their accents, too. By the way, about 12 million Americans, or about 4% of our population, is colorblind, most of them being males. 7% being males of that number, and 0.4% being females, and that's according to the Howard Hughes Medical Institute in New York. It's 5:21 on WTMJ. Coming up next, something that you can look forward to this weekend, a really special walk.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Elmbrook Family Dental. One of their patients named Michelle messaged us this note about her great time signing up her daughter as a new patient on elmbrookfamilydental.com. They have 2 great locations in Brookfield and a 3rd office, brand new, beautiful, in Research Park in Wauwatosa at 800 Mayfair Road. It's right between Wisconsin Avenue and Research Drive. She wrote, "The staff provides amazing service. So kind. They went above and beyond with my daughter's first ever dentist appointment. They made me feel so comfortable along with my daughter. The best dentist in the Milwaukee and Waukesha area. I love this place. So do I, Michelle. The new patient process is so easy. Accepting new patients in their Wauwatosa location. Head to elmbrookfamilydental.com. That's elmbrookfamilydental.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Dreaming of a home renovation? J&J Contractors has been turning houses into dreams for over 40 years. From stunning kitchens and luxurious bathrooms to finished lower levels, they handle complete renovations that elevate your space. And don't forget about the outside. J&J Contractors specialize in roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Schedule your free consultation today. Just Google J&J Contractors or call 414-423-9200. J&J Contractors. Welcome home.
There's no better place to catch the natural wonders of fall than Lake Geneva. Stroll a lakeshore path in a kaleidoscope of color. Explore winding rustic roads. Take a scenic boat tour or glide through a forest on a zip line. At night, stargaze from a historic observatory, cozy up to a campfire, or have a cocktail on the patio. Enjoy the seasonal bounty at orchards, wineries, and farms with flavors to savor. Plan your fall getaway now at visitlakeggeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for fall fun. Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Dr. Ryan Stefanchek. Board certified in sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation, Dr. Stefanchek specializes in non-operative treatment of the spine, chronic pain, all joints, all musculoskeletal problems, and more, emphasizing holistic care first, with a focus on diet, sleep, stress management, and social connections for a patient's well-being. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Nonprofits are just really important to me, and the ALS Association Walk to Defeat ALS is happening this Sunday, October 6th. It's at Milwaukee's Greenfield Park. The goal is to raise $250,000. So it's really important to a lot of people that you wouldn't even realize. We have Eric Grunfest, Director of Development. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Julia, how are you?
Good. You know, a lot of people often think about Lou Gehrig's disease, but there's a lot more, including the prognosis for those diagnosed. I didn't realize it's just 2 to 5 years on average. So can you describe what's the deterioration, like what kind of treatments can someone with ALS get as of this point?
Yeah, that's a good question. So currently there is no cure for ALS. As you mentioned, the life expectancy from when they're diagnosed is 2 to 5 years. So there's some therapeutics out there currently that can help slow the progression. But one of the biggest things that we're focusing on, several things we're focusing on as an association, is one with our clinics and our care centers is helping people get diagnosed quicker. On average, it takes around 11 months or so for somebody to be diagnosed with ALS. So the sooner that we can diagnose properly, the sooner that we can get the therapeutics going if they're eligible for the different drugs.
What is research like regarding ALS? You know, with Alzheimer's, for example, there's always research going on. You hear about breakthroughs and things like that. Is that, I guess, setting the table, where are we at with ALS research?
Yeah, so, that's a good question, Mike. So we were actually in the 10th anniversary of the Ice Bucket Challenge, as I'm sure you guys probably participated in some fashion, and I've seen the social media craze that happened. So that really gave us a boost as an association for research. And we were actually on a call yesterday, and I believe the number, there's currently 60 drugs that are in the trial phase for ALS, and we're helping fund those, and there's 60 worldwide. So that's something that's a big part of what we do as an association is research and obviously advocacy and serving the families that are currently going through the battle of ALS.
Absolutely. And this research can also branch off to maybe finding a cure to other diseases as well. So here's the call to action. You can go to walktodefeatals.org. That's walktodefeatals.org for the 2024 Milwaukee Walk to Defeat ALS. It's in Greenfield Park. That's right on 124th Street in West Dallas. This Sunday, check in at 8:30, and the walk will begin at 10 a.m. I hope that you all take part. Eric Grunfast, Director of Development, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me. Have a great one.
Thank you. You too. It's 528 on WTMJ.
When you walk into your bathroom, is it turn this into this? With our Sidex Creepiest Tub or Shower Contest. Enter a picture of your creepy tub or shower space at WTMJ.com for a chance to win a brand new complete tub or shower conversion installed at no cost, up to a $10,000 value. Enter your picture by texting creepy to the WTMJ talk and text line. It's the Creepiest Shower Contest, only here on WTMJ.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business. Sure can. And the quality is guaranteed? Absolutely. Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right? For sure. How about this one? We'll beat it. Can you print menus, signs, and flyers? Sure can. How about blueprints? No problem. What about red prints? Not a real thing. What if they were? We'd print them. And they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners. Just press play.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story: a standoff with police leaves one dead.
I'm Mike Spalding in for John Mercure, settling an issue with a ballot drop box.
I'm
Debbie Lazago. We do have a crash now on 41 northbound, right about at Mayfair Road, off on the left shoulder. So that's going to be tying things up. Beyond that, it does stay kind of heavy all the way up past Burleigh. Eastbound 94 slowing down from Highway F all the way through the Barker Road area. Back on the brakes from Fond du Lac Avenue. From the Zoo interchange all the way through the Stadium interchange to about 35th. Westbound's going to be slow from 35th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. More delays west of Highway 100 into Waukesha County. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be mostly clear, low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and breezy, a high of 75 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, just into our newsroom, a child has been critically hurt in a crash. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office says that the crash happened at the end of Pennsylvania Avenue off the ramp to southbound 794. It prompted a full closure. Deb was talking about this. The child was rushed to the hospital in critical condition.
One man's dead. Another is left with serious injuries after an officer-involved shooting. That incident, a standoff, happened just after 8:30 this morning near 68th and Capitol Drive on Milwaukee's northwest side. MPD says officers commanded a 33-year-old male suspect drop a firearm when he was on the front porch, but that man refused. Officers did fire at him before he retreated back into the home. Tactical teams eventually found him dead inside. Here's Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
While the origins of this suspect injury is unknown at this time, the officer will be placed on administrative duty, as is routine, in officer-involved shooting investigation.
A separate 33-year-old was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries.
The suspect in the murder of a boy from Milwaukee is ordered to stand trial. A doctor's report finds 16-year-old Eric Mendoza is competent to proceed in the murder trial of 5-year-old Prince McCree. Mendoza's attorneys have requested time to investigate a possible not guilty plea by reason of insanity. Mendoza is accused of beating McCree to death last year with a barbell, a 70-pound concrete bird feeder, and a golf club. In June, 27-year-old David Petura pleaded guilty to first-degree homicide as party to a crime in this case, and he was given a life sentence.
Child pornography charges filed against a music teacher, 28-year-old Dakota Mellon of Lodi, arrested after a search of his home found the paraphernalia. The school district of Lodi telling our news partners at WYSC TV that police do not believe that any of the charges involve students from their primary or charter schools or that any activity happened on school grounds. Mellon is set to make his first court appearance next week.
Decision Wisconsin, there is concern that conspiracies of ballot dumps and voter fraud, along with fake elector schemes, could arise again if Donald Trump loses in November. Executive Director of Common Cause Wisconsin, Jay Heck, tells WTMJ.
The same cast of characters are not going to necessarily be leading the charge, as was the case in 2020. For instance, that the slate of electors, false electors that were put into place after 2020, well, none of those people can serve as electors again.
He adds groups that ensure fair and accessible voting practices are now better organized and prepared.
The Wausau Common Council will end up taking up an issue regarding their ballot drop box. Mayor Doug Dinney says he wants the Common Council to make a final decision on whether or not the city will use it for the upcoming election. City Clerk Caitlin Berard made it clear her decision to have the box placed and secured following guidance from both the city attorney and Wisconsin Elections Commission, recommending the council not take up that resolution. All this stems from Mayor Dinney, who was caught removing the box on September 22nd because he said it was unsecured. The box has been put back and secured, but not before that incident was referred back to the Elections Commission for review. The State Department of Justice is also investigating.
A proposed $15 annual vehicle registration fee would bring in $400,000 in tax money. Wauwatosa officials proposed the idea as part of the city's 2025 executive budget session to reduce reckless driving.
It's going to be a busy weekend along the lakefront in downtown Milwaukee.
It's iconic and popular, and it's back. The Milwaukee Lakefront Marathon. What does this mean for John Q. Public? Well, the route of thousands of runners will take them from 5th and Wisconsin along the lakefront over the Hone Bridge and wrapping up at the Summerfest grounds. This means there'll be plenty of road closures throughout the course, with most starting around 6 a.m. Interested in being a spectator? You can park free at Henry Meyer Festival Park with various other spots along the way to cheer on your runner. Everything will step off at 7 a.m. on Sunday, and the whole route should be open by 1:30. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Clean out your locker day at American Family Field. Just add one for both Brewers players and fans. The Brewers season came to an end last night at the hands of the New York Mets. Up in Green Bay, quarterback Jordan Love says his knee is feeling good. Team's headed out to Los Angeles where they'll take on the Rams Sunday afternoon, 3:25 kickoff for that game. Your Wisconsin Badgers continue Big Ten play on the football field. Saturday, they take on Purdue, and the Bucs open up their preseason Sunday against the Pistons in Detroit. That game heard right here on WTMJ.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
TMG Force Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky. Hey, you're right by the Calatrava.
I was. Yeah, Julia, I just raced back to the station. I'm doing, yeah, I know. I'm getting my steps in today. Actually, I ran from the Calatrava to Capitol Drive here. No, I didn't do that, but
you're in delicate shape.
I'm back. I'm back in the studio now. We were down there for the 4 and 5 o'clock show for on site of the end of the Lakefront Marathon that's going to be happening this weekend. Should be a beautiful weekend for it. But now I'm back in the studio for the 6.
Fantastic. Kudos to your photographer. He had an amazing shot. It looked like almost like a green screen with some of the people biking behind you.
Cool. Yeah, museum. Pete Z. Pete Z's an artist.
Shout out.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah, so, yeah, it was beautiful down there. But just like anywhere, throw on a sweatshirt. Once that sun sets, it's definitely not feeling like summer anymore, more of a fall feel. But we do have some more mild temperatures on the way. Overall, the weekend looks beautiful. Last year, if you remember, for the Milwaukee Lakefront Marathon, there were it was very humid, and we had temperatures approaching 80 degrees. They ran out of water. There were some runners who didn't finish. I don't think that'll be the case this year. Sunday's looking like 60s and sunshine.
You know, Brian, I feel like we've had just picturesque weather for the past, 3 weeks. We had a little bit of rain mixed in there, which was nice, but it has just been fantastic. You couldn't ask for a better start to fall.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I mean, a few weeks, and you could really go back all the way through, almost all of September and even August. August wasn't terribly hot. We had some humidity at times. It has just been really an awesome stretch. Now, on the flip side, we could use rain. I know we don't want a ton of rain as the farmers are trying to harvest, but our lawns, obviously could use some rain. We have moderate drought conditions across the area, so it's been a while since we've had a good soaker. But on the flip side, hard to complain about the weather we've had, and it looks like it keeps rolling for at least one more week.
Guess who I was talking to in the 3 o'clock hour, Brian?
Who's that?
Sean Gallagher. In North Carolina. He was stuck in the Asheville area for 24 hours with no contact to anyone. Yeah.
How is he doing?
He's doing just fine. He's doing just fine now. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's a tough situation down there. I mean, it's crazy. It's one of those things where, where you find out more and more as you start to get to these harder hit areas, and the terrain out that way is terrible. So there's people who are still cut off from civilization. They're boiling their own water and trying to figure things out. And, the death toll goes up. This is going down as, one of our worst disasters here in the United States.
Brian, is there a reason why the Carolinas were hit so hard? I feel like in the week leading up to Helene happening, we were so focused on the state of Florida. And while there was devastation, obviously, in the state of Florida, it seems like the Carolinas, Georgia really bared the brunt. What made this one different than maybe some of the other major storms that we've seen?
And I fall into that trap too, all the focus on where this eye is going to make landfall, where the strongest winds are going to be, where the strongest storm surge is going to be. Overlooking this storm came ashore at a relatively fast speed, like the actual movement of the system. There's a lot of times these hurricanes are crawling at like 5 miles per hour. This thing came ashore at like 20, 30 miles per hour, and then it accelerated. We woke up the next morning and this thing was already past Atlanta. So what happens is it holds a lot more of its strength, a lot more of its moisture versus other hurricanes that kind of, dump all that on the coastline. Whereas this one worked its way well inland and worked its way into the mountainous regions of, North Carolina, northern Georgia, where it dumped 20 to, in some spots, 30 inches of rain. It's one thing to do that on a flat piece of land, but when you do that on mountains, you get these mudslides and these raging rivers that flow into the valleys in the cities, and that's what happened in Asheville and the adjacent communities.
Wow. Well, at least we have it nice here, and we're thinking about them.
Yep.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky with TMJ4, thank you.
Yeah, have a good weekend, guys.
You too.
See ya.
It's 5:42 on WTMJ.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
A lot of businesses have available space. Creating similar models, especially in the downtown area that invite everyone in, I think that's a winning scenario.
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
It can't feel like a hotel lobby. No. I walk in and 95% of these spaces, I'm like, why am I leaving my house? Because this is cleaner?
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
It's bird bashing season when you swoop into Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to a wicked 50 grand cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card all October for entries. All Bird Bash entries go towards a December 20th giveaway with a monstrous 300 grand in prizes. Bird Bash makes its bewitching return. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Hey, John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Volatility, high prices on just about everything, global unrest, and a presidential race that is getting wilder by the day. That's why it's time to have a strong partner, and you'll get that with Annex Wealth Management. You and your family deserve an investment and retirement plan that's well-crafted, efficient, and focused on your goals. Annex works to help you get to the retirement that you deserve. I know I've been with Annex for more than a decade. They're a fiduciary all of the time, not just some of the time. They're required to operate in your best interest. They don't try to sell you anything. That means no commission products. Their job at Annex is to provide excellence when it comes to investment and retirement planning, along with tax and estate planning. Annex is a local independent firm with a focus on helping you achieve the retirement that you desire. Start the conversation today with Annex. It only takes a couple of minutes. Visit annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button. That's Annex Wealth Management. Locations throughout Southeast Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, and Florida. Know the difference with Annex.
I am trying to spread the word. Elders do not have to lose everything at the end of life paying for nursing care or assisted living.
Dan Kraus from Kraus Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
If you have assets over $150,000, it often makes sense to work with an experienced elder law attorney to save as much as possible from the devastating cost of nursing care for your security, for your family.
Contact Dan at Kraus Estate Planning and Elder Law Center today. SaveMomsAssets.com.
Hey, WTMJ fans, we want to hear from you. We're inviting you to participate in the WTMJ Fall 2024 Fan Survey. Takes less than 10 minutes to complete, and you can let us know how you really feel. Do you want more stories about electric vehicles being named? Do you want less stories about fall colors? Let us know. We really do want to hear from you. It's a WTMJ Fall 2024 Fan Survey. To participate, you just need to text the word survey, SURVEY, to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Once you do that, a survey link will be sent right back to you. You can answer it on your cell phone. As a thank you for your participation, once you finish up that survey, you'll be entered to win a grand prize. That grand prize includes 2 tickets to an upcoming Bucks game this season, along with a stay at the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee. It's a night on Milwaukee, on the town, on WTMJ. Again, to participate, text the word survey to the WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Traffic is sponsored by Richlands Tire and Service Center.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Be greeted by an owner at America's largest employee-owned jewelry store.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Let's get to traffic. Boy, Deb, what an update on 794 at Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That a child was critically hurt in that.
Yeah, that's pretty oof. Yeah. So hopefully the little person's going to be okay. But
yes.
At least that area has been reopened. We're not seeing really any delays around that area either. So we got that going. Southbound on 43, we do have some delays from before Hampton Avenue down to Capitol Drive. Westbound 94, just a bit tight through the Stadium interchange. And then in Waukesha County, it's just west of the county line. You're going to be riding the brakes a bit all the way to Barker Road. Eastbound is going to be a bit tight from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. And then on the bypass, we've got an accident on 894 southbound right about at Beloit Road off on the right shoulder. The northbound side of 41, we have one at Mayfair Road. This one's on the left shoulder. So give yourself some extra time to get past those. While you're out navigating the road as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
From sidelines to the locker room.
I think it's important to understand that when Matt LaFleur kind of blew his stack late in the first half, official that is closest to him on the sideline, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was daydreaming. I certainly, Lord knows people during my questions, I'm sure, start daydreaming because they're so long.
And everything in between.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late? We got a rule in the team meeting. You don't interrupt the meeting. Sit your butt outside.
No one covers the team like Jason Wilde.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, but I don't do enough politics.
It's time to get caught up on the green and gold.
He's a Wisconsin Afternoon News Hall of Famer.
I don't have any interest in really anything handy at all.
With today's Insider.
What the hell's going on out here?
ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde.
Woo! It's Friday. Every Monday and Friday, we're joined by the amazing Jason Wilde. Check out his show every weekday from 9 to noon, Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin radio station. Jason, happy Friday.
Who's on their show less? Mercure on this show or Tauscher when he's on vacation all the time?
Buddy, it's a close one. I think it's going to have to be Mercure. I can't imagine Tausch has gone this long. There's a reason his name isn't on this show and Tausch's name is on his show still.
Well, I'm glad to be with Julia and Mike. That's a good tandem, too.
He's gone for 2 weeks, just so you know.
2 weeks?
He's in Europe. But he will be watching the Packers game this week. He'll be watching
Must be rough.
Hey, I heard that you were talking on your show today about the Brewers.
Yeah. I don't look. I feel bad for Brandon. I feel bad for all my friends who are Brewers fans that are just crestfallen and, as Brandon and I were talking about, kicked in the gut or maybe a little bit lower by what happened last night. And it was. I can't explain this, so I won't bother. But I'm just, from all these years of covering sports, I'm just wired differently. And I turned off the game after that and took the dogs for a walk and got ready to head down to Steinhoffels to do today's show with Tausch. So it's different for me, but I feel a lot of pain for all those Brewers fans that are really having a hard go of it today with the season being over.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You know, Jason, when I was listening to you guys this morning, I was thinking about when you said, well, I just turned the game off and I moved on. When you're reporting the news, you kind of do the same thing. It's your job. You go, you report, you go home, and it doesn't really stick with you the same way it would maybe a viewer or a listener. So even though you're not covering the Brewers, as a fan, it doesn't stick with you a little more. I get why a Packers game could leave you in a rough patch for 40 minutes and then you kind of get over it because you're with the team so often. But as a Brewers fan, you don't let yourself get a little whimsical about a season at all?
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what got me. The one thing that did get me, Adam McCalvey from Brewers.com posted a clip, and maybe we had it as well, of Christian Yelich talking at his locker about Bob Uecker and about the disappointment. Like we had Robin Yount, who's obviously amazing, and Tausch decided to have my childhood hero call into the show to try and get me to go to the game last night. And Robin talked about the same thing. Like Bob Uecker is not a young man. We don't know how much longer we're going to have him with us. And this was a great opportunity. And to see, like, Yelly's eyes were red and full of tears. And so that tells you how much Bob obviously means to them. And while it's a disappointment for everyone, I do think that there is a feeling in that clubhouse of just, here's this iconic guy who's been with this franchise since pretty much its inception. And it would be really nice for us to win one while he's still with us. And that added to all the other disappointment of last night.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. All right, let's move on and turn the page.
It's a good idea. I feel like everyone should try to do that, but it's not easy to do.
It's hard. I'll get over it. Okay, week 5. Whoa, Packers list 7 questionable?
They got a lot of guys on their injury report. Yeah, and then there's 2 that are doubtful. It'll be interesting to see who kind of emerges at wide receiver because Christian Watson's not going to play. And Romeo Doubs has some sort of personal matter that they have not divulged, and he's listed as doubtful too. So that means Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Bo Melton, and Malik Heath are kind of going to be the fearsome foursome at wide receiver. So it's that's a problem. I think those guys that are questionable, there's some concerns there about at cornerback, but the good news is if you're a Packers fan, all of the Rams' best wide receivers are injured. So at least it won't be too catastrophic if you don't have the guys to cover them.
Yeah, the Rams have been going through a bit of a tough stretch to begin the season. Am I out there on an island alone, Jason, or am I correct in thinking that maybe a few more opportunities for Jaden Reed, because I do think he remains one of the more explosive players, if not the most explosive player on the Packers offense. Maybe he gets a little bit more opportunity without a Dobbs and without a Watson on the field.
Well, I do feel like there's like Spalding Island, and you're on an island a lot. So you should be used to that by now. But no, I think you're right. And look, we've spent all this time talking about how they don't have a number 1 wide receiver, and that's great because you never know who the guy's going to be. But I think it's pretty clear that he is option 1. He is the guy that makes the magic kind of happen for this offense, and he does it in so many versatile ways. But, I spent some time talking to Jaden this week and some other guys about him. And what I think is really interesting, and I'm writing it for the Sunday State Journal, is that not only have they gotten incredible production from him, but he is like their energy guy. Like if you were watching the game last Sunday and they finally score a touchdown at the end of the half, I mean, he was a one-man, like, cheerleading section, the band, the Bratzuka, like everything that you could possibly do at a sporting event to try and get the crowd into it, he tried to do. And I just think that he's got such an infectious personality that then spreads to his teammates. And that, not as much as his production, which is way more important, but that persona, that energy, I think there's a lot of value in that too, and he's really good at it.
Jason, I don't know if you know this or not, but I think there's a connection of some sort between Matt LaFleur and some of the coaches on the Rams. Were you aware of this? There's like a brother situation going on. There's like a mentor situation taking place. What's the deal here?
Yeah, smaller story, but I know you've been following it, as they say in Fletch back in 1984, which you're too young to have seen. But look, what's interesting here is not only is Mike LaFleur, his younger brother, the offensive coordinator for the Rams, and LaFleur, there's a little bit of a, been there, done that now, because he's coached against all of his buddies and his brother a number of times since he took over in 2019. But it's interesting that Mike LaFleur has Matt's old job. Matt was the offensive coordinator for the Rams in 2017 under Sean McVay. But, Sean McVay is the one guy, I think, in addition to his brother, that Matt is closest with. I don't think he's as close anymore with Kyle Shanahan. I know he's close with Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Dolphins, but it's really, Sean McVay that's his other brother from another mother. And so, and his brother from another mother is sick of losing to him. He's yet to beat him since Matt became the head coach. So I know he's looking to get a win this time.
Yeah, that's something that's really interesting, that the Packers and LaFleur have kind of had McVay's number, and not a lot of teams can say that. We're getting up against the end here, but is there something that the Packers do that you're going to be watching for that's historically worked, that LaFleur's unlocked, that other teams just haven't had that same luck with?
Yeah, I do think that even though it's been with different coordinators and everything else, they've, more than anything else, and I think Sean would agree with me, they've kind of caught him at the right time every time, right? A couple of these games that they've lost to the Packers, Aaron Donald was either limited or not playing at all. That was a big deal. Now he's retired, so now they catch him again without Aaron Donald, without the wide receivers. So this is the kind of game that the Packers have no business losing, given where the Rams are at, even though they're on the road. So this is a game where they have to take control and keep control. I'll be curious to see if they actually do it on Sunday.
Awesome. Are you going on the road, Jason, or no?
After 21 years of doing it, my last full time on the road was 2016.
Whoa.
And
okay.
I would. It's been a while. I would much rather be at the girls' sporting events than the Packers' sporting events. So it works well for me.
All right. He is the amazing Jason Wilde. Check out his show every weekday from 9 to noon, Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
I will send you that check for using amazing that many times, Julia. All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you very much.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Malicki's Piggly Wiggly in Oak Creek plans to close in early November. The Malicki family also closed its Racine Piggly Wiggly grocery store earlier this year. The first indoor pickle